Good evening, good evening, good evening. Cynthia Douglas in the corner. Yes. Wyoming, my favorite gal. How are you? Ah, Joyce, very good to see you. It's very good to have you. Thank you very much. If you see these four people in the room, run for your lives. I mean it. I'm serious. If you see two of these people in the same room, run for your lives. And I'll explain why. Yes, please hit the like button. Can anybody tell me what a quiet assassin honoree is? Please tell me. I want to know. What is a quiet assassin? Not quite sure. Anyways, I hope my mother's TV isn't too loud. So we're going to go over BP Capital. It's going to take a while. So I hope you have popcorn and something to drink. First, let's meet Mr. BP Capital, Don Metals.
Status of the postings of Invest in Dolton registration materials, so that the public and this board knows, and the attorney can affirm this also. We passed an ordinance that we were to be allowed
to
use our village website, the Village of Dolton, to post any postings. For example, with the presenter that'll be here tonight, very short.
Okay, BP Capital was the failure of four trustees. Muhammad, Stubbs, Denton, and Pearson, that kind of devastated Dolton, Illinois. So we're going to go through this. We did do a Invest in Dolton, which was kind of commingled in with BP Capital. There you go, Jerry. Okay, here we go.
Shortly, that we haven't been allowed to post anything. We have applications to be received. They have not been posted. I reached out to the mayor. He said he hasn't read it, hasn't gotten to it yet. It couldn't be no more than 10 pages. But we're moving forward anyway, so what we would like to do, even though, Mayor, you are in violation of at least 2 to 3 ordinances that have been passed. So you're in violation of those ordinances by not posting this material that this board has passed unanimously. And with that being said, if I can get Mr. Metals up to the podium, please. As I mentioned earlier, You know, we have a tendency to weaponize politics, weaponize religion, and weaponize the truth. There's a lot of misinformation that's going out, aspersions cast on this young man here. I think it was a couple weeks ago, the young lady said that he was in her property and was belligerent or arrogant. And upon not me reaching out to her, as you said, Mayor, she came to me and I told her I would help her. We found out that it was not Mr. Meadows. We know who the individual was. So we got a clarity on a lot of things. Yes, it's true. We have not been able to do a conference because of people's schedules. She was to be here tonight. She couldn't make it, and we tried to make the meeting before this meeting. But if we could, Mr. Meadows, if you could update the residents of the village of Dolton where we are in the status of those homes that will be available to homeowners and not investors.
For the Invest in Dolton program, can you hear me? For the Invest in Dolton program, we have been able to pick up the title to 4 properties for the Invest in Dolton, for the village participants to be occupied, review. We're going to do the status and update on them so they'll know the cost of the rehab. Part of the actual program that's occurring on the 14th, where they can meet with different lenders, the credit counseling agencies, and know what it means to become a homeowner in the community. And the funds that the village invested can be reinvested back into the village through the Invest in Dolton program. They will not be going to investors, homeowners only. And the process will make sure that they go through it, understand what it means to be a homeowner, and these will not affect your property values because they're going to sell well below market value, so they're not going to be listed on the MLS, so they won't affect your property value. So that's coming up on July the 14th. We were able to acquire these properties through going through and canvassing, reviewing, and to answer the mayor's question, there are plenty of properties to review in here. It's a long, tedious process to review the taxes, the violations, the codes, less pendings, my codex, and the review. If it was that easy, we'd just take everything off the tax list and put it up. But that's nonsensical. You can't pick up every piece of property at the same time. And we are picking up distressed properties. What occurs when we approach the individuals with the properties, we give them an opportunity to make it whole. Ms. Slaughter, in this case, never came to court. Even after we approached her, after we received title to the property, and told her, well, you have to come to court so you can file it because we've already received the title to your property. She still didn't come to court.
Who did Miss Slaughter talk to that told her they would get back to her?
She spoke to me.
Okay.
So it wasn't a case of her not getting back to me. I spoke to Ms. Slaughter on several occasions. So I can't go back with the hearsay, and I didn't come to play politics with you today.
Yeah. I'm not coming to play politics with you either.
My reality today is I come to speak truth to what's going on.
All right.
I'm not going to. What the reality is, you're asking me to do something you never asked this other organization to do. You want me to pay you for my work.
Well.
And then you want me. Land Bank was here for 3.5 years, 14 houses, never transitioned. You own the property that you sold and they wipe the taxes. So of course you're going to get paid on your house. So stop making statements that don't make sense to people.
Yeah, what do you mean making things don't make sense? We gave them the houses. We gave them the houses. We gave them the houses that were in deplorable condition. And it was hard for them to get rid of. But the houses that they're giving you, and you handpicking and you selecting those houses that need very little work and very little rehab. Now, when you talked about Invest in Dolton, the initial plan for Invest in Dolton, you told the people to come here on that Saturday, they could get a house for $5,000. And then
I did not say. And then, ma'am, I don't know what you.
And then,
first of all, I never said
and
that.
then, well, somebody did who was representing. They put the paperwork out, and then you said you had to have $40,000 worth of equity.
Mayor, can we finish our
I can't do this.
Then you said we had to have $40,000 worth of equity, and then tonight now you got to have $50,000 worth of equity.
Can we finish this, Mayor?
With all
Can
due
we
respect-
finish this?
Thank you. Thank you.
Mayor, with all due respect, we're still on item number 7. Mr. Meadows is here to give the actual facts. If he would please,
If you would please allow.
If you would
Go ahead,
please
finish.
allow
Go ahead,
Mr.
finish.
Meadows to finish his presentation.
Trustee Mohammed, you're not running anything. Go ahead, Mr. Meadows.
Mayor, if you would please allow
Go ahead,
Mr. Meadows to complete his presentation, we'll be more than glad to answer any questions.
have
We don't
the
want to do it in a
documentation that you put
confrontational way. We want questions from the audience as
Okay.
well as yourself. If you would just please let him finish.
I'd like to.
Go ahead, Mr. Meadows.
I'd like to state that there are two different programs going on, and for whatever reason, the two keeps getting mixed up. The Invest in Dolton is something that the trustees put together to help the citizens of Dolton. The Land Bank program that I took over from BP Capital was to do reinvestment in Dolton with my own capital. So it's two different programs, and I don't know why they keep getting merged. It's two different things going on. The $5,000 Invest in Dolton, if they're getting you the property and you can do the rehab, and we've stated that it's going to cost $5,000 to acquire it and $45,000 to $40,000 to do the rehab. That was the exact conversation. I brought the paperwork. I even handed it out to the citizens. So to say anything else is a lie.
Okay, they said tonight you need 50,000.
Let me finish. Let me finish.
Finish.
The second reality is we're picking the properties that are distressed in Dolton, and we pick them all. We don't get them all because some people come and pay their taxes. And a few of the folks we've taken to court, they actually came and rehabbed their houses. They came and cut their grass because there was no notification. One of the young ladies you talked about that you came to court and saved, the only reason we kept taking her to court is so she would continue, because she's tried to rehab her house 4 years running and never finished, and no one ever did anything about it. She never registered it as a vacant property. She kept the last permits in the window when we went to the property were from 2015. So when you talk about what's going on and we pushing the issue, these are facts. Stop coming up and maligning my name. You don't know me.
Yeah. You don't know me either.
And I'm.
Oh, yeah.
And all I'm saying is that when you came and presented that Saturday, you had these people come here saying you needed $5,000.
I did not say that.
Whoever you spoke with on this
No,
board,
that's not what happened. You're a liar.
yeah,
You're a liar. That's
are a
not
liar.
what happened.
You are a liar.
You're a liar, and that's not what happened.
We got the documentation.
You don't have any I didn't get.
Okay.
There is no
All right.
documentation.
Okay.
You've done
Okay.
enough.
That meeting, they asked the people, told the people that they could buy a house for $5,000, and then when they got here, they told them they needed $40,000. And now
not
tonight, one of the members here just said you need $50,000.
Well, first of all, we said you could acquire the house for $5,000. They're distressed houses. The $40,000 is to rehab it. You can't live in the house in its current condition. So why are you trying to make fools of these people? Why are you trying to make this not something that it's not? Why would you do that?
We got the documentation.
Why would you do that?
You got the documentation that
It shows you a
where they invited
rehab
those
loan.
people.
Why would you do that?
Mayor,
Why are you such a dishonest
Come on.
person?
You could fight the program.
You say you're a man of God.
Come on.
Why do you do this?
Regardless of what you say, Mayor,
Come
the
on.
program will work.
You
there
guys-
will be people put in these homes, and they will be.
I have
back
nothing
on
to do with the
patrol.
Invest in Dalton. I am helping in the Invest in Dalton program because they need the assistance. But
So
the reality
you're
of it,
saying-
I never told them they was going to own a rehab house for $5,000. That doesn't make any sense.
You're saying that you never sold any of these houses to an investor. Is that what you're saying?
I'm saying none of these properties have been sold to an investor.
Okay.
Okay, Mayor, if we can continue, if you would,
Okay.
as a reminder, you can stay there, Mr. Meadows, please. With the Invest in Dolton program, as a reminder for those who have an interest in that, because again, there will be people who are against this program, but we're talking about putting people in homes, and there is a $5,000 acquisition cost from the particular buyer. But we want you to come to our housing fair, where you can walk away with a home of your own for less than $50,000. Why continue to rent when you can own? This fair is for potential homeowners, not investors. We will have contractors, plumbers, electricians, banks for attendees at this housing fair, and that's Saturday. That's next month, July 14th, and the time is from 12 to 2 at New Zion Covenant Church at 14200 Chicago Road. You can RSVP your attendance by calling 708-888 880344, and we had another one of these before, and I think you were in attendance. And if you can give an overview of what that was about and what this one will be about, and that'll give a little bit more clarity of what we're trying to do in putting people in homes in Dolton, which is the #1 complaint, abandoned and foreclosed properties in Dolton.
Prior to this, we had an event in December of last year. We invited some contractors, other vendors, lenders in the community to explain the process of purchasing a home that needs to be rehabbed, because that's a process. And you can't just throw someone into that process without giving them the steps before it to happen. Because this is not home and garden television. Watching that process is a lot more difficult to do than a lot of people understand how to do. So we walked them through that process, and we had other vendors there that do that, other lenders in that program. So we had it at the church. We're going to do it again. We're going to invite other lenders that do 203K and what they call Fannie Mae home-style rehab loans, so they can understand the process. Because I don't want people getting caught up with contractors and things they don't understand when they're trying to get a rehab loan done on a property. So we will have other vendors out. We'll have professionals showing licensed and bonded contractors, so no one's money will be in jeopardy of being lost. And I'd like to say, I'm sorry, people. I lost my composure. I prayed before I came here, and I got out of that. So I'm sorry. I apologize to you, Mayor, and trustees and good citizens of Dolton. I do apologize for stepping out of myself, okay? Thank you.
Appreciate that. Also, as I mentioned at the very beginning of this, status of postings, some of these vendors have reached out to me so that they could forward this information to go on the VO Dolton website. But we're unable to do that because our mayor is in violation of the ordinance that was passed in order for us to publish public information as for the well-being of this village and its residents. So we will give that number out again at 708-888-0344 to promote this as best we can, and hopefully this will air on channel 4 and 99. We know it won't be on the website because it's been blocked, but I appreciate your time, Mr. Meadows, and hopefully you will hang, because if someone has any other statements or questions, if you would still stay behind. Thank you. And that's my report. I'm sorry, my report. That's item number 7.
Next thing on the agenda is
Well, that's Mr. Meadows. My goodness. Not a good luck for first appearance. Hopefully you can't hear my mom's TV. Why does it always seem like he has to jump in? Because. You mean Muhammad? Yeah. So, he was talking about this woman, where she had to go to court to get her house back. Please go.
now. This is Mrs. Slaughter. She is the resident here that her house has been taken, and she spoke with the representative from BP Capital prior to the expiration date of her being able to file to get the house back. They said they would get back to her. They never got back with her, and they took her house. Her house was in fact vacant, but she had someone had broken into it. She had boarded it up herself, secured it herself, and they went after the house. And the house needs very little rehab on it. And that's what we're finding out, is all these houses that they're taking are the ones that need very little rehabilitation. And they're selling these houses, and they are getting the revenue. So, Ms. Slaughter, I just want you to just explain a little bit about, and Chief, this may go a little bit longer than 3 minutes, explain a little bit about what has happened to you that really puts a black eye on our village.
I'm sorry, Miss Slaughter. Yeah, Miss Asia, this was Invest in Dolton, BP Capital, cooked up by Muhammad, Stubbs, Denton, and Pearson. There you go.
Sure. Okay. I did purchase a property, and I knew I was going to be getting around to working on it a little bit later because I had 2 children in college. So I couldn't work on it right then. I purchased it in 2016. Kids were breaking in.
Just hold it.
Kids were breaking in, so I boarded it up. One day I saw this man out in the driveway. I said to him, "Excuse me, can I help you with something?" He says, "Oh, I'm going to be working on this house. This is going to be mine." I said, "No, this house isn't for sale." He said, "Well, that's not what I heard." I said, "Well, it's not." He said, "Well, what do you know?" So I didn't tell him very much. I left. Well, then I went back because he was still hanging around. I said, "I own this property, so it is not for sale." He left. Didn't hear anything else about it. A few months later, I happened to drive up. He's inside. I said, what are you doing in my house? He says, "This is not your house. This is mine." He said, "If you don't believe me, go down to the village." I flew down here. I started asking around. They said, "Well, are the taxes behind?" Well, yeah, I knew the taxes were behind, but I knew I had a certain amount of time to redeem them. So I wasn't worried about it. Called him up and I said, because he had given me his number, the lawyer had given me a number. Come to find out, he's a lawyer on both sides, which is a huge conflict of interest as far as I'm concerned. But I told him I'm not interested. He said, "Well, you know what?" He says, "I'm busy right now. I'll call you back." He knew, but I didn't know that my time was expiring because they were trying to get the deed. So next thing I know, the time has expired. He never got back to me. But he knew up front. The guy from BP Capital, he drives a black Cadillac truck. I talked to him on 2 occasions. So he knew that it wasn't for sale, or wasn't vacant. He knew that it was mine, but they went behind my back and took it anyway. I worked hard for that. That was a place that I was going to have to go to. And so I'm very upset. I need my place back. No one's offered me a penny. There was not anything wrong with it. And I am mad as hell. Excuse me, I'm sorry. And I want to know what the board is going to do about this guy that you guys hired to do this. We have a bunch of vacant property that's really horrible. They didn't go after that stuff. That's the stuff that needs to be taken care of, because I've been out here for 25 years and there's stuff that was vacant the day I moved out here. It's still vacant. Why didn't they go for that? If they want to make Dolton beautiful, let's go for the stuff that's really, really bad.
Right.
Okay? No, they cherry picked the stuff that they wanted, and you guys let them do it. You let it do it to people. We've been here. This is our stuff we worked hard for, and you guys want to let them take this? Yeah. Is that what you want to do?
Yes. Well, I'm going to tell you, Ms. Slaughter, I'm going to do everything in my power, and the clerk, along with me, is going to help to get your property back.
Well, I appreciate that.
There's properties that, like I said earlier, the clerk and myself went to court and we were successful in having those cases dismissed, and those homeowners got their property back. There's properties that they're taking that no one has responded to. Why? And you're taking those. Why do you want to take the ones that the residents are responding to?
Yes, he knew. I mean, Head honcho knew. I told him. Go ahead,
how greedy do you want to be? The program is just terrible. We're not getting a dime for any of those properties. It's terrible. And I agree with you, Ms. Wells, in regards to we need to take a look and get rid of BP Capital. I agree with you.
Yes, they need to go, especially when they know that something's not vacated. So, yes, they need to go.
And they're selling some of these houses for $40,000 and more, and the village don't get a dime.
Yes. And I paid my hard-earned cash for that. My money, cash. I worked hard for that I can't get back. What's up with that? And you know what? I haven't been to any board meetings, and that's my fault. But for the first time that I come in here, because I decided I got to start getting involved and do stuff, I don't know what's going on up here, but this is really, we need to work together as a village. This is tearing us apart. I've never in my life seen anything like this. I've been sitting back here just in awe. We need to get together. I mean, we say the Pledge of Allegiance. Do you guys know what the Pledge of Allegiance means? That we all stand together? Where is that at up here? You guys not showing us how to stand together? Hey, Jesus.
All right,
Thank you. I'm done.
Thank you,
Get
Ms.
together,
Slaughter.
please.
So that's just one example of a resident. But this is going to be a really long live because there's a lot to unpack with this BP Capital, and it's really difficult to separate Invest in Dolton with BP Capital. So I want to show what these trustees, these 4 trustees, actually, how they screwed the village, because they got voted out after their first 4-year term. But before they left, they did this.
All right, the next thing on the agenda is approving First Amendment to redevelopment agreement for BP Capital. Trustee Stubbs.
Yes, good evening, everyone. I would like to make a motion to approve resolution 19R-007, approving First Amendment to redevelopment agreement, BP Capital Corporation.
Second.
Okay, it's been motion and seconded to approve the First Amendment to the redevelopment agreement, BP Capital. Any discussion?
If I can have the attorney to come up.
Good evening, Mayor, Board of Trustees, Madam Clerk, Village. I'm here to just give a brief overview on the resolution. Again, it's a resolution approving the First Amendment to the redevelopment agreement with BP Capital Corporation and the Village.
I'm sorry, Nick, can you give them your first and last name for the
Sorry
record?
about that. Nick Petrovsky, Petrovski. Again, this is the First Amendment to the redevelopment agreement with BP Capital Corporation. Initially, the village and developer previously entered into a redevelopment agreement dated July 26, 2017. The village desires that the developer continue its efforts to eradicate hazardous, unsafe, dangerous, vacant, and abandoned properties within the village, and the developer desires to complete its efforts to do the same. Therefore, the redevelopment agreement is hereby amended to add a new paragraph number 17 to the redevelopment agreement, which shall be read as follows. As of the date of this First Amendment to the redevelopment agreement, the developer wishes to acquire, renovate, and rehabilitate properties that have been acquired by the Village of Dolton under its Invest in Dolton program. As part of its renovation and rehabilitation work, the developer has expended and will continue to expend funds based on the original redevelopment agreement and assurances made by the village. The developer agrees to pay the village $30,000 in total.
No, 30.
Change it.
It changed twice. Yeah, you're right. All right.
Sorry about that, $30,000 in total for the 6 Invest in Dolton property it intends to acquire, renovate, and rehabilitate upon the village's delivery of a deed to the developer for those properties that the village has title to at the time.
Now, did you catch that? Listen to this carefully. These 4 trustees are screwing the village on their way out.
2017. The village desires that the developer continue its efforts to eradicate hazardous, unsafe, dangerous, vacant, and abandoned properties within the village, and the developer desires to complete its efforts to do the same. Therefore, the redevelopment agreement is hereby amended to add a new paragraph number 17 to the redevelopment agreement, which shall be read as follows. As of the date of this First Amendment to the redevelopment agreement, the developer wishes to acquire, renovate, and rehabilitate properties that have been acquired by the Village of Dolton under its Invest in Dolton program. As part of its renovation and rehabilitation work, the developer has expended and will continue to expend funds based on the original redevelopment agreement and assurances made by the village. The developer agrees to pay the village $30,000 in total.
35.
No, 30.
Change it.
Changed twice.
Yeah, you're right. All right.
Sorry about that, $30,000. In total, for the 6 Invest in Dalton property, it intends to acquire, renovate, and rehabilitate upon the village's delivery of a deed to the developer for those properties that the village has title to at the time of execution of this agreement, and developer will pay the village $30,000 within 30 days of execution of this agreement. Developer shall also pay any outstanding water charges owed on each property prior to water service being reestablished to the property. The developer also further agrees to complete its acquisition, renovation, and rehabilitation work on the Invest in Dalton properties, provided said work is completed within 2 years of execution of the First Amendment. The redevelopment agreement and this First Amendment shall remain in full force and effect until all such acquisition, renovation, and rehabilitation work is completed and a certificate of occupancy is issued by the village for each property. Should the village not allow the developer to acquire or complete work on the properties, the developer shall receive a termination fee of $45,000 per property as liquidated damages, not as a penalty.
Oh, boom. Thank you so much for that Cash App. I really appreciate it. I don't want to say your real name. Thank you so very much. I appreciate that very much. So, the village is going to have to pay $45,000 per house. Now, what the 6 houses for Invest in Dalton was supposed to be for residents, remember? They were supposed to be raffled off at $5,000. They paid the attorney $30,000, Attorney Bass, $30,000 for those 6 houses. They were supposed to be raffled off to residents. See how this BP Capital and Invest in Dolton gets all screwed up? Yeah, $45,000. They're going to have to pay that $45,000. So just let me, yeah, it was supposed to be homeowners only, Mouse Toes, and you're safe, by the way. So let me just replay that again because this really hits home.
And rehabilitation work on the Invest in Dalton properties, provided said work is completed within 2 years of execution of the First Amendment. The redevelopment agreement and this First Amendment shall remain in full force and effect until all such acquisition, renovation, and rehabilitation work is completed and a certificate of occupancy is issued by the village for each property. Should the village not allow the developer to acquire or complete work on the properties, the developer shall receive a termination fee of $45,000 per property as liquidated damages, not as a penalty.
Can you explain that last part to the audience?
Sure. If there was any...
Yeah, explain it. Kathy, a lot. It cost the village of Dolton a lot of money. A lot. So go ahead, Miss Stubbs, BP Capital, BP Stubbs. Let him explain that last part because you got voted out. And now you're going to do the best damage to the village that you could.
Issues with the development of the property, there would be a liquidated damages fee for the developer. The developer will be allowed, it's 2 years to build, renovate, and rehabilitate the properties. If there was some issue between the village and the developer, there would be a liquidated damages clause in the amount of $45,000 to the developer per property.
And how many properties is that?
It is 6 properties. This would ensure that the village, this would ensure that the developer would be able to rehabilitate the properties.
So there's $30,000 for all 6, right?
Yes.
Okay. Did your client indicate if they want to get any money on all the other properties that they took from us?
My client is the Board of Trustees.
Oh, your client is the Board of Trustees.
I'm the legislative counsel on behalf of Kathy Elliott with Robin Schwartz.
So there's nobody here from BP?
So there's nobody here from BP. Oh, we thought you were here representing.
No, my apology. I should have represented myself earlier. No,
Yes.
wasn't hiding anything. Sorry about that.
So you're saying now there's two programs in place. Are you familiar with what's going on?
I believe so, yes.
You are? Okay. All right. There's two programs from what I understand is going on. The Invest in Dolton, which was the 5 or 6 properties, and then all the other properties that the BP Capital is taking control over. And Trustee Denton, I want you to intervene here, ask your question again, who's in favor and all that other stuff, you know, as we go forward. As we go forward here. So, but at any rate, these trustees who you're representing are saying that you want to give us $30,000 for those 6 properties with all the restrictions. If it's not done in 2 years and if it's not done the way it's supposed to be done, we give you money, right? The $45,000, not you personally, but BP Capital, $45,000. If there's a penalty, if we don't go forward with.
But wait a minute. BP Capital and Invest in Dolton is supposed to be separate. Yes, I can't stand the gum chewing. I know, Laura. They're supposed to be separate. But now we have these 6 houses that were supposed to go to residents in a raffle with $30,000 being given to Attorney Bass that just went down the toilet for no reason. And because Pearson, Stubbs, and Muhammad are on their way out, they want to jack the residents right up the butt. Right.
If there's any issues, which obviously is a broad scope, it could be many different things.
Oh, we know that.
Mayor, can I be recognized?
No, I'm talking. So I want to just get this right. So you're just talking about 6 properties, right? And the board has sued me to sign off on over 22, I think. So, and pending some other ones. So,
I'm not familiar with that part of it at all.
yeah, well, I'm going to familiarize it with you here in a second. But so the 22 that they made me sign off on, which I didn't, because I still didn't want to sign off on them. Madam Clerk signed off on them in pursuant to the court agreement, the court order, I should say. We get nothing for those, right? You're not suggesting that these trustees that has hired your firm, Ms. Elliott, you represent Ms. Elliott today, we get nothing for those, right? That's what you're saying?
I'm not aware of those. Those are beyond my scope.
Okay. Why do you want to give us $30,000 for 6 houses? Because the board told you to do
Mayor,
that.
may I be recognized?
No,
I can explain that.
I'm talking.
I put the
I got the floor right now.
I put the
Okay?
item on the agenda.
I got the floor right now.
Go ahead.
Okay.
Do you?
Yes, I'm going to. So, and that's only if we meet all these other requirements and restrictions. Correct?
Could you rephrase the question? I lost you after.
That $30,000 we get for those 6 houses in Invest in Dolton is only if we meet all these restrictions that have been put in place
No, that's $30,000 at the signing of the agreement within 30 days.
at the sign of the agreement. But there was some restrictions that you mentioned in the point of signing the agreement. Is that correct?
Could you point out what you're exactly referring to?
$45,000 if we don't do what we're supposed to do. Just start there.
Okay, go ahead.
I just asked you a question.
I'm following you right now, but what is your question standing?
The question was, if we don't meet these restrictions that these trustees put into the amendment that you want written into this agreement, we have to pay our penalty. And like you said, it's a broad scope. That can be anything. If we don't dot the I,
Should the
cross the
village
T.
prevent or in any way not allow the developer to acquire or complete work on the properties, then developer shall receive a liquidated damages fee of $45,000 for the property.
Why would the village agree to that? Huh? Why would the village agree to that? But anyway, go ahead, Trustee Stubbs.
Yes, thank you so much. Let me explain to you. For 19 months, we was in court because the mayor refused to sign off on an agreement that we made with BP Capital to rehab the houses. So for 19 months, he didn't sign off. BP Capital was in court, and he would have been here tonight. He had death in the family. But anyway, so we didn't have ample time to invest in Dolton into place because we just got the deeds and we're getting on our way out. So to make sure that the village received their $30,000 back, plus the water.
You lying ass. Oh, Donna B, you got a new job. Starting a new job. I hope you like it. Oh, BP Stubbs.
Water bills. We asked BP Capital, would he take on that project, consider at least a couple of the people that have put in applications that are still interested in the program to purchase those houses at a minimum cost. Now, because the mayor held up the program in court for 19 months and would not let us go forward with the program, then that's why I asked that a stipulation be put in the event that he stopped the Invest in Dolton program with the 6 houses that BP Capital have agreed to take on and rehab. Now, all he have to do, so the village will not be liable, is do not stop them. He stopped them by not signing off on the deeds. He stopped them by not letting them go and see was the houses water on or off. He stopped this program for 19 months. The man paid his money to retain an attorney. He used our counsel, Attorney Murphy, until Attorney Murphy actually came up with a suggestion, because I was in court too. Am I correct, Attorney Murphy?
Finish your statement, then I'll
Yes, I was in court when Attorney Murphy came up with an idea to either let the clerk, he also mentioned a trustee or 2 trustees sign off on the deed since the mayor didn't want to, and it ended up being the clerk and the housing director. One of those can sign off on the deeds, so they could go forth with their program. And it's not 400 houses. He only have acquired, I want everybody to listen real carefully, he only acquired 38 houses.
Right.
That's now. What, excuse me, Mayor, you don't pay taxes on your property, so don't bring that to me.
Yeah. Okay.
Nor your water bill.
Right.
Okay, I know, moving right along.
Right.
So, therefore, so he can continue to his project and get some of his money back that he has spent being in court for 19 months, because that was very, very expensive for him to do that. And then he wants to get out of our town because there's too much fighting going along. Okay? So Attorney Murphy, if he can attest to, he came up with an idea so we could come to a happy medium with BP Capital.
Yeah.
And that's why we put the clause in, so he will not stop us. Hopefully he will not stop us and cause the village another dime, because he set up.
Listen to this. Oh. Uh-oh. Oh. Why? Matt was making a joke. Potato. I think he was joking, Potato. I really do. Yeah, 38. Yeah, I think Matt was making a joke, Potato. Calm down. Don't be unleashed. Listen to this dribble.
There and held these people in court for 19 months. That's over a year. And that's why I asked that he put a stipulation in so he wouldn't hold this man hostage again and let him do the work, because we didn't have ample time to have the raffle, and I wanted to make sure that the village received their $1,000 back that we got from them in order to do this program.
I'm sorry, BP Stubbs. You started this project in 2017. This is 2019. And they did sign off. Oh, okay. Okay, Potato. I hope you're feeling better. Dribble. Absolute dribble. And this woman wants to be a trustee with the township. Think about it.
Along with the water bills. Can you attest to that, Attorney Murphy?
Well, a few things. It wasn't 19 months. It was more like 5 or 6 months in court. Secondly, let me address this resolution in relation to BP. There seems to be quite a rush here, and I assume it's a rush to have the outgoing board bind the new board.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Since Thursday or Friday, we got 3 separate drafts of this resolution. The first one they were going to for these 6 properties, and they haven't. This resolution doesn't even identify the properties we're talking about. We don't even know what they are. I'm looking at today's, and originally was going to be $35,000 they offered to pay us per house. That reduced to $30,000 per house. Now it's $30,000 altogether. And now they've also put a what's commonly referred to as a poison pill, meaning that if the village terminates this project within the next 2 years, they have to pay BP $45,000 per house, so 45 times 6. So I don't know how that's in the best interest of the village. And finally, the audience, everybody should understand, we've got just a very minor update on the BP program. As you recall, the mayor's been blasting this thing from the first day as a ripoff on the taxpayers. We finally have our first closing. You may recall from prior meetings that one of the first properties, actually one of the properties that the mayor refused to sign a deed to, was from village to something called Rely On Homes. Rely On Homes was a company out of Burr Ridge and Hinsdale that's owned by the son of one of the 2 lawyers who are behind the BP effort. So they Rely On Homes finally, or just recently, sold that house that they didn't pay anything for, that the village did not share anything in, for $147,000. One house out of the BP package.
And that's one of the reasons, that's just one of the reasons that I refused to sign those deeds, because what I wanted to know was, after they took control of those houses, which they picked, which one, you know, in the lien, it's abandonment or demolition. None of them houses was demoed. The ones that need to be demoed are still standing and don't have liens against them. One of the reasons I didn't want to sign those deeds was the fact that I knew that from conversation that some of those properties had already been promised to and sold without the deeds. And we're looking at some of the houses that have been rehabbed that would generate over and above what it costs to rehab it, approximately $100,000 per house. So you take 200 houses, just take 20 houses. That's $200,000.
He only have 38 houses, Mayor. He only have 38 houses.
I'm talking,
You keep
trustee.
saying 400 houses, and it's only 38.
Okay, all right, take 38. With an average of $100,000, it's $380,000. Why doesn't the village get anything? You talk about putting it back on the tax rolls. We're not looking at getting it back on the tax rolls for a couple of years.
Mayor,
Why can't we?
I'm gonna answer the question.
Why can't we? If we have control of how, and I'm gonna use this simple explanation. Would you give your house away for nothing?
I'm gonna use this. I'm gonna use this one, Mayor. If you paid your taxes, we would have some money too.
Why are you worried about my taxes? Everything's under control over here. Everything's under control over here.
Your check
Everything
paid out of.
everything's under control. And you constantly in your final hour before you leave here, you're trying to put something else in place. 2 years past you getting out of office. 2 years past you getting out of office. 2 years past you getting out of office. And it's an insult. It's an insult. And I know you're just getting paid by this town, by the village. It's an insult for you to even present $30,000 on 6 houses to get back to the village, but with restrictions and a penalty. Let's worry about those 38 houses. How come we can't get any revenue off the 38 houses that they've acquired so far?
Can I be recognized?
And the reason that's the very reason I did not sign those deeds. And we did the research and we found out. And then not only that, the business partner of Mr. Bass, whose son, help me here, John, whose son bought the property and took me to court, could get an emergency court order for me to sign off on that deed so they can make their money. And you heard Attorney Murphy said it sold for $147,000. How much you think they put in there for that rehab? Now, why can't we take control of our own houses? We sell them and make the money. You know, it's what Trustee Muhammad said earlier is talking about urgency in regards to us paying our bill and having enough money to stay in business, stuff like that. There's an urgency, but we can do business better. We can do business better, and that's not what this board, and I'm not talking about everybody on this board, has did. We're going to have to dig ourselves out of what this current board has put us into. And I only got 2 years to try to make it happen.
Mayor, may I be recognized?
We're going to generate some revenue this year and the following year. And it may be a little painful for a few people, but you got to do what you got to do. Just keep your head above water. It's a mom and pop store right here, 5-mile radius.
That's the problem.
Mayor, may I be recognized?
Revenue. Thank you, sir.
Mayor, may I be recognized?
Thank you.
Because I'm actually not finished with the attorney. I believe I put this on the agenda.
Which attorney? Which one are you not finished with?
The one at the podium.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay, I want to state this also. And my thing of it is, you have 7 houses.
I don't have 7 houses.
You have 7 pieces. I'm sorry, if you have 7 pieces of property
I don't have
and you
7
have
pieces of
never
property.
addressed that, if you get the Citizens newspaper, it's in there.
Did y'all pay for the ad?
Is with
Did y'all
also
pay for the ad?
the
Fake news.
oh, now you want to cut me, now you want to
It's
talk
fake-
because you
Well, here, Donna B, let me help you out. Let me help you out, because if this does not drive anybody insane, I don't know what does. Let me see. Let me help you out. Ah, that's my feeling on it. Okay, BP, Stubbs, go ahead.
don't want nobody to know the real truth. That's what this is all about. You don't want people to know the real truth. Better Government Association. You can go on their website. He makes $61,000 a year plus benefits, and if he's not paying his property taxes, then he's not helping paying his salary either. Okay? Now, also, let's look at his water bill. If we paying our water bill, and he talking about the water bill, and he ain't paying his water bill, it's inactive. You just started. You just started. And let me tell you something. If the board do not want to do this,
We heard
Point of order, Mayor.
Could you get order, please, Mayor?
if the board do not want to do this, then I just want to make sure that the village got their money, their $30,000 that we paid the attorney back before I left office. I want to make sure they got their money back. Okay?
How the hell is the village going to get money back when they have to pay BP Capital? And then, in the end, when the new board comes on, they're going to have to pay $45,000 for each house. You absolute lunatic. I'm sorry, but she irritates me, and so does Muhammad Pearson. Ugh. Go ahead, BP.
And excuse me, and so therefore we don't have to have that restriction in there. We don't have to have BP Capital even rehab the houses. I just want to make sure that somebody take over the program, because I won't be here. Okay? Don't worry about it. Trini, you don't even live in this town, ma'am. Moving right along.
The crowd is cheering. That was class.
Okay? I'm not going nowhere. I'm going to be here as long as I want to. Okay?
Okay, is that...
So,
This is really ignorant.
therefore, if the trustees that sit up here now
in this boardroom.
I would like to table this.
Thank you. Can we get a second on the table? Trustee Denton.
I take that back.
Okay, it's been we got a
I take that
second.
back.
We got a second. We ain't taking it back. We got a second here.
I take that
That's
back.
it. We got a
What did you take back? Because I've been just sitting here laughing my butt off. She screwed up. She's so inflamed. What the hell does Roger's water bill have to do with anything? Here she goes.
Trini, you don't even live in this town, ma'am. Moving right along. Okay.
Wait, did you say Trina? You don't even live in this town? I missed that. Hold on. Okay, BP, go
I'm
ahead.
not going nowhere. I'm going to be here as long as I want to. Okay?
Okay, is that...
This is really ignorant.
Therefore, if the trustees that sit up here now
in this boardroom.
I would like to table this.
Thank you. Can we get a second on the table? Trustee Denton.
I take that back.
Okay, it's been we got a
I take that
second.
back.
We got a second. We ain't taking it back. We got a second here. That's it. We got a second. Let's vote on the table.
Okay, let's vote now.
On the motion to table by Trustee Stubbs, second by Trustee Denton. Trustee Muhammad.
Mayor, I thought we were in discussion because there was some misinformation that was
Trustee
stated.
Stubbs.
And we didn't have discussion on this because there are two matters that I need to address that the attorney.
Table stops it. You're up for a vote.
Trustee Muhammad. On the motion to table.
There was discussion on the table
Trustee Muhammad, as you know, motion to
Trustees did
table
not give
terminates
input, Mayor,
discussion.
because we were still on discussion. There were 2 points of misinformation.
The problem is, trustee, is that you think you're the mayor. You're not the mayor. There's a motion on the floor of the table. There's a motion on the floor of the table. That's it.
Again, Mayor, there were 2 points of information that was wrong.
Tabling motion preempts anything else. It's time for a vote.
I'm sorry, I made a mistake.
She withdraws.
I even withdrew.
Is that it? 23 for 37? Come on, hit the like button, hit the unlike button. Should I sing or something? Remember these faces. Run. Run. And hit the like button, please, so we can continue on. Or you can talk to my mother all night.
Okay. There's a motion, 2 motions on the floor.
I withdrew my motion, and so we are still in discussion.
Could you address that, Attorney Murphy or Madam Clerk?
Is there a motion to table?
No.
Does anyone else, Trustee Denton, do you wish to make a motion to table? Or withdraw your motion?
She seconded.
Just a second. Okay. Let's start from the
Raise your hands
beginning.
again. Come on. Ask them to raise their hands again.
Do I hear a motion to table?
No.
From anyone else on the board? No? Okay. Discussion continues.
Okay, Mayor, can I be recognized, please? Okay. 2 points of... Mayor, could you please get control, please, so that everyone can hear this? Mayor?
Go ahead, trustee.
Okay. 2 points of information, as it states, and I would hope that we would stick to the ordinance for discussion, which is Resolution 19R007, because you're bringing up irrelevant information that does not pertain.
No, trustee,
Mayor, can I finish, please?
Information.
Can I finish, please? Can I finish, Mayor? Thank you. There was some information put out. This agreement was signed, well, not signed because you refused to sign the ordinance, was back in July 26th of 2017. We have not been able to move not one property of the Invest in Dolton program, which is what this amendment is about. There has been criticism that we paid an attorney $5,000 to get the taxes waived on the 6 properties, which came up to $30,000. BP Capital is agreeing to...
Well, I guess we have to pause. What should we do? Let me see. Well, we can't get memberships anymore. We're not monetized anymore. So hit the like button. You enjoy watching, or just click off. Yeah, let's get... No, we can't have Bear come up because Mouse Toes is in here. So, well, let's just do this. Valeria Stubbs. The trustees and mayors are the voices for the residents. Yeah, we see that. We see that. Yeah, I'm telling you, Potato. No, I'm not my... And Critical got hit too. He thought he was safe, but I got a text from him as well. So thank you, all you kind citizens. You vicious little vile people. And choose compassion as well. Aren't you people just lovely people? The trustee's job is to watch our monies and our dollars. That's why we owe the city of Chicago $8 million for water. Valeria Stubbs, BP Stubbs. Oh, yeah. Chad and Bear definitely come up and talk. Karen's, I'm sorry, I forgot to say hello. Big Rick, it's so good to see you. Yeah, isn't that a great post by Valeria Stubbs? I didn't make it. Oh, she most certainly is. Most certainly is. Yeah, I know it. It's It's you people. Well, Hall versus YouTube. Waiting for the judge to come back. So you could be laughing now, but I think a lot of people are going to be laughing later. YouTube versus Hall versus YouTube. There's going to be a lot of channels, and I could name them, but should I? Oh, who knows? Probably. Well, no, she got money. Wait a minute. No, Anthony. Yeah. And this will not age well, VP Stubbs. Yeah. No bear. No bear. So, what the hell does this mean? I'm just waiting for people to hit the like button because I have spent hours and hours and hours upon end getting this set up with Invest in Dolton and BP Capital. And I want the likes hit for my work. Thank you very much. The trustees and the mayor are the voices for the residents. This does not age well, does it? The trustees' job is to watch our monies and tax dollars. That's why we owe the city of Chicago $8 million for water, plus interest. Oh, now he's being... Well, there's a history with Atlanta. There. Oh, you think? Oh, thank you very much, French. Thank you very much, Karen. It's good to see you here. How we doing on the likes? 44 people in here? Yeah. Trina Lex is totally unqualified to lead, negotiate real estate deals on behalf of the village. The mayor was quite right to not sign off on this very bad deal with BP Capital. Thank you very much, Trina Lex. No, there isn't. There is not. Coming out of his ass, I mean mouth, same thing. Oh yeah, the water. Brandon, it is so good to see you. How are you, my friend? It's good to see you. How are we doing on the likes? We got 45 people. I'm not monetized. And thank you so much for the Cash App that I don't want to get their name out because it's their real name. I appreciate that. Oh my God. Yeah. Okay. Should we continue on, or this just says it all? BP Stubbs, this is you. And the residents are cheering because you got voted out of office, along with Muhammad's ass. Yes, I said ass, I'm sorry. And Pearson. And weren't you on TV just recently? Together, the three of you? And Muhammad, I know you were at the caucus. I don't know about Pearson, but I know Muhammad was. Okay, let's do it. I'll shut up now.
To come in and pay the $30,000 back to the village, along with any outstanding water bill under those 6 properties. And as everyone here knows, whenever a property is sold in what's called judicial sale, those bills are waived and the village becomes liable for that water bill, meaning that the village would pay that. BP Capital is asking to step in, pay the village of Dolton, and as a matter of fact, that's within 30 days, $30,000, which is $5,000 per house, the 6 that are listed, and the attorney mentioned that he doesn't have an address. There is an exhibit which shows the 6 properties in question. I have it in my email. I thought it was forwarded to the clerk. Maybe it wasn't forwarded. And as far as there being different drafts, we've had times that we've had 1, 2, 3, and 4 drafts. Some drafts have type errors, typos. This is a particular one that has been that we see that it is correct. So I'm sure that the village of Dolton residents have no issue with us getting reimbursed our $30,000 for the 6 properties, number one. I'm sure the residents of Dolton and this board has no problem with BP Capital paying the water bills on those 6 properties. The reason why the stipulation was put in that last paragraph saying the following: should the village prevent or in any way not allow the developer to acquire or complete work on the properties, and the properties again are these 6 properties only that come under Invest in Dolton, then the developer shall receive a termination fee of $45,000 per property. Now, how do we avoid paying $45,000 to the developer? By letting them do the work that has been held up, and that was stated correctly, Trustee Stubbs, you were right. It's been held up since July 26, 2017, and you can do the math. We were not able to move not one property under the Invest in Dolton program. The reason why that was put in there, because the mayor himself, who just admitted that he would not sign off on the properties, so the developer had to take the mayor to court to get that approved, and the judge sided with us. And there is an agreement between the Village of Dolton and BP Capital on the, 38 properties that he's acquired as far as getting the back taxes waived. So the $45,000 won't even come into play as long as the mayor doesn't resist this agreement, because we'll duly sign it, and if we get the proper number of votes, it becomes an ordinance, or the ordinance has a resolution to it, which is the amendment that we're adding, and that's it. So you can move the $45,000 out of the way as long as the mayor, again, and I'm going by history, does not interfere with a developer to get these 6 properties turned around.
Well, then why you want...
Mayor,
are you done? Finish. Go ahead and finish, because I want to straighten you out.
I do not want to argue with you. I want to stick to the agenda like the clerk mentioned before. We're addressing this resolution that's before us. It has nothing to do with the other properties that are in question, because the judge already came on the side of the residents and this board. That is in effect. We're talking about the amendment added to that ordinance concerning these 6 properties. And if the attorney needs the 6 properties, we can email it to you right away, but it has been forwarded to the clerk, I believe. I'm not sure, but I believe it was forwarded to the clerk, so she does have it in her possession. So again, I understand everybody here in the room, $45,000. As long as the mayor does not try to intervene and sabotage these individuals from turning these houses around and putting residents in these 6 homes that are in question. Thank you, Mayor, for recognizing.
First, for the record, BP Capital didn't sue me. You sued me, Trustee Stubbs sued me, Trustee Pearson sued me, and Trustee Denton. That was my summons when I got from the court. BP Capital's name was not up there. And you could correct that, John? That's correct. That's correct, okay? Secondly, the reason I didn't sign it, and I've already said that, is that we're giving the revenue away. We're giving revenue away. And then now,
not true.
And then now, even with this order, if you want to put the order in place, BP Capital's going to give us some money back and everything, why do you want to extend this agreement 2 years after you get out of office? If they're going to agree to what you said, what is the need for a 2-year agreement?
Is that a rhetorical question you're asking me?
I'm just saying.
Oh, so it's rhetorical. You don't want an answer?
Yeah, and then why are you doing this before you leave office? Why can't the new trustees come in and examine everything that's going on?
I'd be more than glad to answer it, unless that's a rhetorical
I'm not
question.
looking for an answer.
Mayor, can I be recognized?
Go ahead, Trustee Hobbs.
Also, now you will
I would like to ask if we could do a motion to table this item until a future date.
Can I get a second? Okay, it's been motioned to table to a future date. Trustee House motioned it. Trustee Denton seconded it. Roll call.
On the motion to table, Trustee Muhammad.
No.
Trustee Stubbs.
No.
Trustee House.
Aye.
Trustee Denton. Trustee Pearson.
No.
Trustee Henry is absent.
Do we have?
2 ayes, 3 noes. Motion to table fails.
Okay.
May I continue to be recognized, Mayor, or did you?
No. Let's go ahead.
You
What
rather
we
take
gotta
the
do
vote?
now?
Because again, you put out some misinformation,
Call the
Mayor.
roll call. Call the roll.
To approve. The whole thing.
I'm gonna veto this anyway. Go ahead. You can go around. You want to. Go ahead.
On the motion to approve, well, let me ask, is there a motion?
Yes.
Thank you. Is there a second?
Second.
Okay. On the motion by trustee Stubbs, second by trustee Muhammad, to approve resolution number 19R-007, approving First Amendment to redevelopment agreement with BP Capital Corporation. Trustee Muhammad.
Aye.
Trustee Stubbs.
Aye.
Trustee House.
No.
Trustee Denton. Trustee Pearson.
Vote for it.
Motion carries 3-1, 1 abstain.
Okay.
Congratulations on screwing the residents of Dolton. So I just wanted to add in that. Now, we're going to go to the beginning of BP Capital. But I could see in the chats what you're all thinking. And you're thinking, as I'm thinking, yes, it's Groundhog Time. Hey, real Magnolia. Had to get out of my system. Dwayne, good to see you. Magnolia, how are you doing tonight? So, let's start at the beginning. What? Yes, the ground. I have to play that all the time because these people drive me insane. Okay, let's go to June of 2018. Here we go. Unbelievable.
First of all, Mr. Mayor, I appreciate you being the mayor of the village of Dolton.
Thank you.
I've been in this village since 1994. I respect you, sir.
Thank you.
To the members on this board, you guys was voted in to help the mayor, not to be argumentative to him. I am a citizen of Dolton. I am a taxpayer. I am a homeowner, and I am a voter. Number one. Let's go to this number 3, the grass cutter. Muhammad, you said that it wouldn't cost anything to get a third grass cutter.
Yes, ma'am.
You said that the houses was, they have selected houses, they're going to cut the grasses?
Yes.
Well, I'm on 141st place in Dolton. Since I've been there in 94, every house on Wednesday cut their grass, make it look presentable, because pickup day is Thursday. But lately, this house on 141st, right on the corner,
What's the ad? 140,
141st.
14100?
Now, this house has been abandoned.
What's the street, ma'am?
You're talking about 141st place.
Yeah,
I
what?
gave it to him to cut it today. I went by there yesterday. There's 2 abandoned houses
Yes,
there.
yes, it
it's
is.
right on the corner.
Yes,
I know
it is,
exactly
Mayor.
where it is. They're going to handle that.
That grass is so tall, a kid, 10-year-old child, will walk by there. But it is a safety issue.
Right.
Yes.
She stated that people...
I'm sorry to cut you off. Now, remember, this is before the havoc that we just saw. Okay, we're going back to the beginning. Okay, and Beth is going to go off in this meeting, too. I forgot to cut her out. Sorry, Beth.
hurting people in abandoned building, that is terrible.
It's
Everybody's house is okay, but these 2 houses on the end,
Yeah.
somebody's going to have to do something about
Yes,
them.
ma'am.
Right.
But the reason for the third one, so we can have more people to cut, the budget is the same. We just need more grass cutters. That's why we want to add a third one. because they aren't able to cover the entire 5 square miles of Dolton. That's why we're trying to add another grass cutter without affecting the budget. They just have to divide it among 3 people.
That's what I said.
Excuse me, Mayor. The 3 people are not even enough. We really need more than that, but that's what our budget can hold, 3. And with Public Works adding it, that helps. That just complements what we're trying to do, ma'am.
Oh, okay,
That's
sir.
what I tried to say last year when you cut them.
Thank you very much, Karens. I really appreciate the cash out. Thank you.
That we needed more than what we had, but you cut them now. I don't know why you're reversing this year, but I'm happy that you're reversing this year because we need to get those houses cut.
Right, because if you want people to attract into Dolton, and the neighborhood is doing their part, the residents doing their part, and then you got these 2 houses on that corner. Yes, you turn the corner, it's terrible, absolutely terrible. Now, I'm not addressing this to you, Mr. Muhammad. Mr. Mayor,
yes.
I'm addressing this to you. You said that you was going to get someone to do it. I'm going to take your word for it.
Okay, it's going to be done.
Okay, sir.
I told you I went by there yesterday. I saw it. I know there was 2 abandoned houses there.
It's very bad.
Yeah.
Now, my second thing, number 5. The young lady said that BP Capital come in and you're not getting any money. You said about the that old restaurant up there, Dusty, that was tore down. My question is, why would you not get revenue off of something like that? Why was money not being said? If Dolton need money and you said that it wasn't a money issue, they didn't get paid for that? Are you talking to me? Yes, I'm talking to you right now, miss.
Okay, and because we own the property. We own that property that Taco Bell sit on right now. That property belonged to the village of Dolton. And what they did, they got the taxes off of it because the restaurant was renting from us, the old Dusties. They were renting that property from us when it burned up. And they received monies from the insurance, but they obviously didn't relocate there.
Which we should have received.
Excuse me. They went somewhere else. So therefore, we sold Taco Bell the property for $300,000. The village sold Taco Bell the property for $300,000. That's how that $300,000 came into play.
And the village didn't get none of that money?
Yeah, we got them $300,000 for the property that already belonged to us.
Okay.
Okay, and there's another part of the property that's
Right. So South Suburban Land Bank cleaned up Dusty's property where the Taco Bell is right now. They paid the taxes off and the village got $300,000. So don't say you didn't get any money from that property, BP Stubbs. I'm going to keep calling you that. Sorry.
available also for sale that belonged to the village of Dolton. So we received the $300,000 from Taco Bell to put their establishment there.
Okay.
That was already our property. We didn't receive a dime from South Suburban Land Bank.
Not a dime.
Not one dime.
South Suburban Land Bank has the same capability that you gave BP Capital, and that's to wipe out the taxes on the property. So they're not doing anything other than any different than what the land bank was doing, other than selling these houses, and we're not getting any revenue for it.
And then,
Now you chose to hire an attorney that's representing the village to file the abandonment and the demolition on these houses, and that same attorney is representing BP Capital. It's definitely a conflict of interest.
that's my question. Mayor, again, I appreciate you being the mayor of Dolton.
Thank you. Ms. Wells.
Good evening, trustees, mayor, residents of Dolton. Got a few things. I wanted to ask about the event happening on July 14th. Are walk-ins welcome, or must you register, or RSVP?
Walk-ins are welcome, just
Walk-ins
like last
are
time, the
welcome.
one that you attended. Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. And then for the chief, where can I find a list of the equipment violations, just in case?
On the Illinois General Assembly's website, every law in the Illinois and also the Illinois Vehicle Code is listed on there.
Okay.
It's IGA.
And I have another question. Trustee House brought up an option to add the land bank as a second entity to do the same thing that BP Capital is doing. BP Capital does not pay the village any money to abate taxes. But however, we are paying an attorney to do that. They're paying the attorney. They're paying the attorney. I stand corrected.
That's his money.
Okay, we won't go there.
That's his money. He can do that.
But we have two programs running, Invest Dolton, BP Capital. There is not a cost to anyone to abate the taxes under the land bank, and so with BP Capital, right? Why can we not have two? Why can't we have two entities? They're doing the same thing. In terms of monies that were paid to the village received $300,000+ for that Taco Bell. That's an income that you didn't have had the land bank not come in, abated the taxes, the development happened, and you were able to sell the property for a profit. It was sitting there with delinquent taxes. Yes, we agree.
Who would
right?
you like to answer that?
I'm just making a statement right now. I'm just making facts. Sitting there with back taxes, the land bank came in. Mayor, do you know the amount of those taxes?
It was close to $1 million.
Didn't cost us a dime, but you were able to sell and make a profit, right?
Ms. Wells, I'm going to add something.
She was asking me a question.
Okay, go ahead.
Yes, that's correct. And had we had BP Capital present at that particular time, at that particular era in the village of Dolton, he could have did the same identical thing.
No argument there.
BP Stubbs, do I have to remind you of something? Let me see, which file was it in? Let me find the file. No, I probably can't find it. Go ahead and I'll find it. Go ahead, I'll find it.
Asking the question, why can't you have them both coexist?
We are actually, this meeting here is a cow meeting and it's for discussion. So therefore, this man have been beat up on so much by yourself and other people.
I haven't beaten him up. I don't even know him.
And therefore, his company have been, ridiculed so much. So
no paper trail on him.
I would like to see in the 6 months, because
Really? You don't want South Suburban Bank in there, Stubbs. No, she doesn't like me at all. She doesn't like me at all. Let me see. I found it. Yeah. Let's find out why you don't like South Suburban Land Bank, which is in very good standing because I talked to John today and I discussed South Suburban Land Bank with him. Here we go. Let's play this first.
Blacking. Thanks, Mr. Dorsey.
Good evening. Come as a resident tonight. I'm going to talk to a lady I used to call Mama. Trustee Stubbs, look at me when I'm talking to you. Please. Don't act like you don't ignore me. Because I have a lot to tell about you. And we used to sit in your room, in your house, and I came against you because I said, why are you in the bed with Muhammad? Why are you in the bed with Pearson? Mama, what's the outcome? What did you tell me? What did you tell me? I asked you about BP Capital. Why would you take an organization out because you said they were ran by who? Forgive my language. Racist slurs against the ethnical group that they need to get out of here because they're doing nothing? And I told you they do more for me than any of you? But yet, I want to know. BP Capital. Then, trustee, I love you.
The door.
I came to you from my heart, sweetie, when we got out here.
She ran out the door. She ran out the back door. Can you believe it? Look at her. She gonna run.
About BP Capital, why would you take an organization out because you said they were ran by who? Forgive my language. Racist slurs against the ethnical group that they need to get out of here because they're doing nothing? And I told you they do more for me than any of you? But yet, I want to know, BP Capital, Den, trustee, I love you. I came to you from my heart, sweetie, when we got out here for you and pushed my tail off of y'all and prayed that y'all would do the right thing. And you sit up here. You the angel in this book. I didn't hold nothing against you, but you sit up here. And you know that woman dirty. I used to listen to her talk about Joyce Myers, the Bible, all that. Trustee Den, I just want the truth here tonight. I'm coming as a resident and I'm coming as a homeowner. I have nothing else to say but the truth. I always talk help, but I'm sick of it. Because we pouring our souls out here. We giving our all. And y'all sitting up here playing with us like it's nothing. You letting that woman tell you, say it's okay. Don't you do this. Don't you do that. And you sit in the back zone. That woman don't run nobody. She stepped out her body and she's not acting right. I just want to know one thing. If you're giving BP Capital 600 houses and we in $1 million deficit, right? Let's just say we charge what? Let's just say we charge $2,000 per house. Ain't that a good investment for anybody? $2,000, $4,000. That gives us $1.5 million that we just say we'll give it away, or we'll pay trustees, or we'll pay their lawyers. You know what, y'all? It's a shame, but ain't nothing we can do. That's why you can sit up there, Muhammad, so cool, so relaxed, bro. It ain't nothing we can do. We messed up. We trusted you. I messed up, but I won't do it again. But I can tell you what, y'all all live in Dolton, right? I have 20 people outside of your house every day protesting until you leave this land.
Oh, this is the guy with fathers and blessings. Yeah, yep. Cynthia just answered that. I won't do again. So yeah, go ahead, Stubbs. Go ahead.
To have a listing of 18 houses right now with the deeds.
Mayor has to sign.
That the mayor have to sign these deeds, and I hope and pray that he sign the deeds.
I hope and pray he doesn't.
Okay, so you know it's funny to you, but I myself been living in this community for 20 years now, and I have an invested interest in the community. Now, I don't know how long the mayor have been here in this community, but I plan on staying here, and I believe in fighting for my community and for the people of this great village, for home ownership, not to see the grass as tall as myself, and to see economic development in our community. So therefore, I'm giving BP Capital an opportunity because it seemed like it's a little faster to me. And if we have some more vacant property, like over here in the old part of Dolton, I'm looking at the warehouse over there that can be torn down, getting the taxes taken off of that, and some development happening over there. That's what I'm looking forward to. So why not give this man an opportunity?
Well, we just heard from Fathers and Blessings why you don't want South Suburban Land Bank. Because they're white. That's right. They're white.
I didn't say not give him one.
And I'm looking at the time span, the 16 months, the 3 years that it took them to do 14 pieces of property.
So there's a backstory, and you and I can have that conversation. But there is a backstory, and you know that there is.
Ooh, I want to know the backstory, but she doesn't say. Sandra, is that Sandra Wells? I know it's Miss Wells. But no, BP Capital, no. African American. No. I'd like to know that backstory, but she's not going to say. Dang it.
is. However, my question once again, well, I'll tell you, and I will enlighten you, trustee. If you want to know, I'll enlighten you the backstory. But my question again is, why can they not coexist? Why is all of it going to BP Capital? And BP Capital is capitalizing on the sale of those properties.
But you did not come up here and tell me the same thing about South Suburban Land Bank. That's what I'm confused on.
What
You
did I not tell you?
say for anybody else to less divided between another company.
It wasn't even on the table. I'm not arguing with you on that. What I'm saying to you, trustee, is that when the land bank existed out here, there was nobody else at the table. You took them away from the table, or it was voted. It wasn't just you. Yes, you did.
No,
You took
I did.
them.
I did.
Okay.
And I
But
stand by my vote.
Okay, and I stand by my position. Trust me, I do.
Okay.
Because I know what I'm talking about.
I want to know, Ms. Wells, if you could stay there, I want to know, since there has not been any cost by the trustees' admission, what did we give Attorney Bass $30,000 for on 5 houses, on 6 houses? What did we give him $30,000 for to do the demolition and abatement, the abandonment petition on those 6 houses? Where did those 6 houses go? Did they go to invest in Dolton, or did they go to BP
Yes,
Capital?
they go to invest in Dolton.
Then how?
Well, we just heard that they didn't, right? And why are you paying a separate attorney when you have an attorney right there that could have done it for like $250 per house? And Potato Critical needs that YouTube check more than I do, by the way. Just putting that out there.
Did we not spend any money to do it?
That's 2 different programs.
But you have the same players, which is a conflict. It's the same players in both programs, and that's why it's so confusing.
It's 2 different programs.
Mr. Meadows just stood up there and said there was no cost with the Invest in Dalton program. So then why did we give $30,000 to Attorney Bass to process the demolition and abandonment of those houses when he said he paid the attorney fees? Okay. So at any rate, all right.
One last question.
Okay. Go ahead, Miss.
I heard said that.
And Stubbs, why are you arguing with a resident? She's always arguing with residents. Always. Oh, there's Beth. She's gonna come up a second and blast them too.
There are ordinances in place that the mayor may be in violation of?
At least 3.
Okay. Were those ordinances put in place to pass your own agendas? Because it seems like those particular ordinances go towards what you want to do. Is that what the residents want to do?
I can tell you clearly what those ordinances are.
What are they, please?
Number 1, they have access to the media center /vodolton.org in case we have to promote any particular public affairs event. That's one of them.
Mm-hmm.
That has nothing to do with individuals' regard. We vote as a board. Part of that was to promote the BP Capital and other programs that we have done. For example, if you heard us say that we have about how many titles that are clear, deeds that are clear? About 18. And they have to be signed by the mayor. Did you hear that part?
I heard that
they're going to
part.
come in his office, and if you listen to his response was, you heard it,
I did.
that he's not going to sign it. So therefore,
now he's saying things that I didn't say.
Just like he didn't sign the other information that was for him. But let me answer your question so we can be very clear. The mayor is in violation. The young lady said that we're fighting with the mayor. I will continue to speak truth to power. I'll be respectful to the mayor, but I don't agree with everything on the mayor. Getting to your question is this. If we approve the program, the board, and it becomes an ordinance, we all have to follow it. Sometimes there are ordinances that are approved that I may vote no on. But because I vote no on doesn't mean I'm going to be in violation of that ordinance. But the trustees will have to probably take the mayor to court in order for him to follow the ordinance.
I'm ready.
And you hear this? So now guess what? That's more money. When all you got to do is follow the ordinance.
My question is then the ordinances that were put in place. I'm just wondering, are they put in place to pass a personal agenda? And if this BP Capital Invest Dolton I'm sorry, it just feels like there's something in it for someone else other than the residents. It just feels that way because you're in such opposition to allow any other entity to work in this village. BP Capital and West Dolton have the same players. So that's why it looks funny. It smells funny to me. And I'm sure other people smell it. I'm done.
We've had South Suburban Land Bank. We saw what they did over 3 years. So they're.
Why are you fighting so hard, Stubbs? Why are you so upset? You see how upset she is? Dang.
Before we're giving somebody else an opportunity.
Thank you, Valeria.
Okay.
Thank you, Valeria. It's my turn now. I am a resident of the village of Dolton. My name is Beth. I am very concerned about the policing of the village of Dolton with the number of police officers that we have. At the last village meeting, there was the question came up at the meeting that we needed to hire 2 more police officers with 2 part-time police officers. Then we found out that 1 police officer was let go from his position. So that comes out to 3 police officers that we need. And in our community, we had a very bad shooting last week, Tuesday, where they were shooting into their vehicles. And I'm not saying that the police aren't doing their job. I'm just saying we need more police officers. And we have fireworks situation coming, and we don't need to have it be Beirut and Iraq again next year. I mean, this year, like it was last year. It was very bad last year, and we need more police officers. I just don't understand why it was tabled. You represent us. If you can't do your job, Dwayne Mohammed, resign right now. If you can't do your job, Valeria Stubbs, resign right now. You too, Trustee Pearson. The people of Dolton want you to do your job. If you cannot get us more police, resign right now. You're not doing your job. You have been elected to protect us. You did not take care of us by hiring more police officers. The people of the village of Dolton should be very angry. And I'm speaking for people that don't have the courage to stand here and tell you that. You either need to hire more police officers or resign.
And they still don't have enough police officers. This is 2025. Oh no, they're not going to, Pearson's going to answer her, French. It's 2025 and they still don't have enough police officers and they're still paying overtime out the butt. It's incredible. Pearson's going to answer her, French.
No, I don't want an answer from you. I want you to do your job.
Well, what I want to say to you, Robert,
I'm not going to be out of order. I don't care what you say.
Don't have money. So anybody can stand up and talk about hiring police, but you got to pay for them. And this village took Chicago water money for 20 years and spent it. And now we don't have that anymore. This village is going to court tomorrow where we have to try to work something out with the city of Chicago. You cannot play with that money anymore. So anybody that stands up and says, we can hire police, this budget don't have money in it for police. I want more police.
I call bullshittery because you're giving a lawyer $30,000 for 6 houses. Sorry.
This board wants more police, but we can't spend what we don't have.
That's
we
not.
were told by, yes it is, Mayor, and you know
It's not true.
By this attorney,
It's not
that
true.
we could run out of money before year's end.
It is.
We have to redo the budget. And we tabled it so that we could see after the budget if we're going to have enough money to hire 1 or 2. But right now, we have to look at the whole budget simply because we cannot do what prior administrations did. This board didn't do that. We weren't the ones taking money from the Chicago Water Fund, spending it, but that's how they did it every year. That's how it was done every year.
Actually,
Whatever you want to do, just take it out of Chicago's money. That's how it was done.
Chief.
And now we cannot touch Chicago's money ever again. We have to pay rearage and we have to pay the current bill. And when that happens, everybody's going to see, regardless of what they're telling you, that this village does not have the money to go and do it. Don't think we didn't hire police because we don't want police. I see it every day. I talk to people every day about the crime in this community.
Every day.
But we'd be stupid to hire police to have to lay them off in a month because we can't pay them.
Chief.
Along with other people.
Chief, hold on, ma'am. Ma'am.
I just said we can't hire them.
Chief.
Where's the money going to come from?
Somebody got to protect the people. I don't care where the money comes from.
We have police.
Chief, how many police officers are we down now, and how many? There was 2 that went into retirement.
We had 3 that retired last year.
Three that retired. Hold on a minute. Three that retired that we were budgeted for. Correct. So in that budget of the 3 that retired, that the budget was approved by this board, how come we couldn't replace those 3?
Because we were $2 million over budget, Mayor. Because at that time, Chicago's money was being spent to pay our budget. So that whatever was in the police budget won't be the same, Mayor, and you know that.
Trustee Pearson.
It won't be the same.
Trustee.
If we're going
Yes, Sloan. They do go to training in the Chicago Police Department. But I do have to tell you, John is going to be coming on next week. He's going to talk about that land bank and the South Suburban Land Bank. I asked him specifically this morning about it, and he said they are above board. The land bank is, not BP Capital. And he knows some of these police officers in Dolton. And he knows some of the employees in the administration that he actually fired. I don't know if he's going to say the names. I doubt it. Yeah, there you go. Okay, let's go blow hard. Oh, my mic was hot. Sorry.
to go to the balanced budget, the police, the fire, public works, none of those budgets will be the same.
Now, Trustee Pierce, that's because you guys are the one that's doing the budget. Now, I'm going to say this.
But you're spending the money.
How am I spending the money when I can't? You took my authority to spend any money. You took my authority to spend any money, and the board votes on what they spend.
There's a hiring freeze. Did you just hire people?
There's a hiring freeze.
And did you just hire people? Yes.
I did. And guess where I hired them? And guess where I hired them? In the water department, so we can get this crap straight.
Mm-hmm.
And you still want to give me heat on it.
I ain't giving you heat.
And if you would have hired,
you're spending money that the village don't have.
If you would have hired those people last August when I asked you, we wouldn't have had this backlash in the water department. But you voted against it. But you tell me we didn't have the money. But you spent $80,000 on that house that was underwater, Trustee Mohammed, on that house that was underwater over there, and you didn't say a word about that. And it's still sitting there vacant. Now, when you talk about, and you want to put the pressure on me, the mayor did this with the water department, the mayor did this. Every time I tried to do something to get some corrective action, bring some revenue in here, you voted down. You knew we had a problem in the water department. We knew we had to get on top of getting those bills accurate. Last August, I said, let's hire 7 part-time water meter readers so we can get actual readings. No, we're not going to do it. Early on in this administration, I asked for us to go to monthly water bills. No, we didn't do it. I mean, I can't help if you continue to vote against me. And now we need police officers. And I've asked for police officers several times, and you said, no, we're not going to hire them. And yeah, 5 people got shot.
Mayor, you know
we don't want to hire.
It's really not funny.
But we don't want to hire. But we don't want to hire police officers.
It's really not.
If the people don't feel safe in this community, they're going to leave. If the business people don't feel safe in this community, they're going to leave. If people that want to come in and buy houses and invest their money for businesses, they're going to leave if they don't feel safe. One of the biggest things that the residents said when I ran for mayor was, Mayor, we never see the police. I don't care if the police don't do anything. If they're riding around here, it's a perception of being safe. And when the people come through this town and they see police, you know, they say, we're not going to stop and do any crime in Dolton. We're going to go somewhere else. There's too many police. You cannot afford not to hire police. We spent $500,000 on overtime for police, and we're paying it. Why don't we hire police officers where we can get them at a minimum rate and get in here and protect these citizens? On one hand, you say we ain't got the money to hire, but on the other hand, we spend over $500,000 in overtime.
Mayor, when that was done, and you know,
it's being done right now.
That was Chicago's
It's
money.
being done right now.
Chicago's money, and the attorney will tell you that.
It's being done right now.
This village was spending Chicago's money, and they can't do it anymore, and you know it.
And that's fine. Why did...
Fool the residents.
I'm not trying to fool the residents. It's reality.
The funds.
It's reality. You're talking about laying off people right now.
We can take that one that's watching you, that one police officer watching you, and we can put them on the street. You say you had a death threat, and Pete Zano, that he was watching you, that he was directly under you. So maybe if we can take that one, at least we'll have one more. That
Oh my, history does repeat itself, doesn't it? Police protection.
that can go on the street.
I've got numerous death threats. And I would be justified, and you could ask this chief, I'd be justified in having police security. But you know what I'm under opinion? If somebody gonna get you, they're gonna get you. They get presidents with hundreds of men of security. So I leave it up to the man upstairs. He's gonna protect me, he's gonna protect me. He's gonna take me, he's gonna take me. I don't care how many police officers are around me. But City Hall has always had a police officer in it. Always.
So, Mayor,
I'm
does that
sorry.
mean we can take Pete Zeno and put him back in rank?
Oh, no, it's all right. It's yours.
No.
I'm going to skip over this woman, but yeah, numerous death threats. Yeah. This woman just wants to volunteer, and I forgot to cut her out. There we go.
Give him a chance. Why not give him a chance?
Oh, let me get her viewpoint. There we go. I wouldn't mess with this woman. I would not.
Good evening, everybody. Everybody know who I am. But I have a question concerning the South Suburban Land Bank. When a person do something, you said they didn't do nothing. What's wrong with giving them another opportunity? I don't think this village should be ran by one or two people. We are residents. Couple you all that's all out. You are not the only one paying taxes in Dolton. I think we should have a voice too. So if the land bank, give them a chance. If you, okay, you have put a few people in there that didn't do what they supposed to do, but you did, but you want to give them another chance.
But can you tell me what person is supposed to
we
be?
ain't gonna go.
I know we're not gonna go through this.
Okay.
I know we're not gonna do this,
right?
Because there is no person.
Okay,
Let's
but
keep
I'm
it
just
real.
saying,
100.
give them a
Thank you.
chance. I mean, you got one or two trusts.
She is always arguing with the residents. Just another day in the office. Yeah, Potato Critical got hit. He needs that YouTube check. Way more than me. And Choose Compassion. She got hit too. Lovely people. Hall versus YouTube. Stubbs, you got to argue with all the residents that don't agree with you.
Just
He
gave him a
want to
chance.
nominate everyone, to be in charge of everything. Trustee Howell said, give him a chance. Why not give him a chance? I mean, you can't get too much help. Give him another chance.
We just gave them a chance. Can we give this gentleman a chance?
Okay, but
before everybody keep
two heads are better
him
than
out?
one any day.
Can we just let him have at least give him a couple of more months? Okay.
Two heads is better than one any day. Trustee Stubb.
Miss Williams, I would just like everybody just came in beating up on this man, just beating up
Well,
on
I'm not
this
beating
man.
up on him. I'm just
and you
saying,
never
why not
gave him an
add on?
opportunity.
Give him some help.
I would like. I don't know that he need any. If you
What's
just,
in it for you? Why you don't want nobody else to help
anything.
you?
Let me tell you something, Miss Williams.
What's in it for you?
God supply all my needs. I don't need anything. I'm straight.
Okay, well, give
I have retired from my job.
Let Trustee
I'm
House
straight.
have a
That
part
don't-
too.
That don't.
I'm sorry for interrupting, but Stubbs, what's in it for you?
I don't need anything, and I don't even appreciate you even making that statement that something in it is for me. I'm gonna let you know what's in it for me.
But you said a whole lot of things Georgia didn't appreciate, but you said it. All right, have a good day, Trustee Stubbs.
The residents of this village, that's what's in it for me, so they can have good housing. That's what's in it for me. I wish he would work with us. I know we was voted in to work for the people, not to be
All right,
a rubber stamp.
Go ahead, Barbara.
on the mayor.
Go ahead, Barbara.
Thank you.
Good evening, residents and village board.
I passed by this woman.
Tomorrow, see if there's any violations been issued. I'll give the neighbor's address. Have you talked to the neighbors about it? Any dialogue with them?
You don't talk to the neighbors, but at least I don't.
Okay.
Because you have confrontations, whatever.
Yeah, she's running.
At this day and time.
Yeah, Stubbs is running for Thornton Township trustee. She most certainly is. And let me show you this. If you ever see these four people run, Rogers, tea with the trustees. Muhammad, Stubbs at the caucus. Stubbs running for Thornton Township trustee. Pearson backing up Stubbs and Muhammad. Run. Don't walk. Run.
You don't go approaching anybody.
Well,
Good evening, everybody. I just
Yes,
have
sir.
one comment in reference to the South Suburban Land Bank. And it seems like it would be unfair if we didn't give them a chance, especially seeing that it's not costing us anything extra. After all, we did just give the grass cutter a second chance, so why not?
It's your time.
Good evening. What I'd like to say first is that same thing that Mrs. Stubbs, Trustee Stubbs said, a belated Father's Day to everyone here that's a father, and I hope that you enjoyed the day on Sunday. My first concern.
So I'm going to pause it here because Mrs. and Mr. Creighton are going to speak, and they're kind of long-winded, but they have good points. And Mr. Creighton, I believe, had a street sign named after him. They were very well-known residents. I don't know if Mrs. Creighton passed or not. I know Mr. Creighton did. But yeah, let's go to another video. It's going to be a long night, so I hope you have your popcorn. And let's load it up. Oh, let me get off. It's so confusing between Invest in Dolton and BP Capital. Two folders on them. Okay, so here comes Tiffany.
On the agenda is trustee Henry planning.
Okay. Thank you.
Her, right?
Thank you guys for coming out. Thank you guys for staying so late. I will be brief. I had a committee meeting on Monday, July on the 30th at 6 o'clock. And we discussed the following. Lawn care, we discussed housing fees and BP Capital. And we also discussed the South Suburban Land Bank. Under new business, we discussed maintenance of trees and bushes, and then the last item was a RFP, a request for proposal regarding BP Capital. Unfortunately, my board did not show up, which consisted of Trustee Stubbs and Trustee Pearson. So I then held a town hall meeting where some residents did get up and speak and address their concerns regarding BP Capital. I did place it on the agenda, like I told you guys, to basically approve the following, which is the housing fees increases, and that's regarding like purchasing a house in the village of Dolton, and also to put out an RFP for BP Capital. So you'll hear from that shortly. Thank you.
Okay, that was short and sweet, but the trustees didn't want to go to the housing committee. As far as Rogers, when the new board came in, his hand-picked board, he took away all of, and I think this is really what set Tiffany Henyard off. Not defending her, of course, but Rogers took her off every single committee. She had nothing. He wiped her out. So that's a little backstory between Henyard and Rogers. Oh, that's an awful pause right there, isn't it? Can you believe Thornton Township paying over $1,200 for her wigs? Did you see that? Did you see that today on Hannibal? $1,200 for wigs. Not just one time, twice, and then $500, $500, and then makeup. All provided by Thornton Township residents. Okay, here's South Suburban Land Bank. Here we go.
Agenda is the South Suburban Land Bank, Trustee House.
Okay, I think the land bank is something that has been mentioned a few times. It's something that I want to just bring up for discussion to see if there's consideration that this can be added to supplement processes that we already have in place. The land bank is something that is a zero cost to the village of Dolton and has capabilities to do commercial properties as well as residential. So I wanted to see if this is something the board would consider adding in addition to other opportunities that we do for putting houses back on the tax.
May I be recognized, Mayor?
Go ahead, Trustee.
Trustee House, BP Capital is at no cost to the village also. So I like the fact that we have 18 houses right now in 6 months.
Oh, I'm sorry. I muted myself. No, it's on the Thornton Township warrant list. The wigs, the makeup, everything. Oh, yes, it is. Yes, it is. Oh, go ahead, BP, because you don't want South Suburban Land Bank in there, even though they're free at no cost to the village, right?
Span, and I would like to stay on that path.
I would say that BP Capital is costing us because we have a village attorney here, and the board chose to go out and get another attorney to file for demolition or abandonment of those houses, and those houses are shipped to BP Capital. So there is a cost, and there's also another cost. The village is currently getting not one penny from BP Capital as they sell these houses, and the profits from those houses go to BP Capital. Now, in some of the other towns, when those houses are processed for abandonment or demolition and they're sold, the village reaps some revenues from the sale of those houses. But in this case, when the board passed it, they said, well, it'll go back on the tax rolls. Well, you know, it could go back on the tax rolls maybe a couple of years from now, but the immediate relief that we would get from that revenue from the sales of those houses, and fine, if BP wanted to take a percentage of those sales, it's fine. But I think we should equally enjoy some of the revenues that are coming from those houses, and that's not being done right now.
Mayor, to my knowledge, it wasn't done with South Suburban Land Bank, and if it was, then I would like to see the documentation on that. And notwithstanding, BP Capital is putting up his own monies, not one dime from the village go towards the attorney that he hired. He hires the attorney. He chose the attorney of his choice. He pay him out of his own pocket. But he's also here today. He can speak for himself. Coming up in item 7.
Okay.
And
Go
so if you have, and I would like to know today, what monies in the 3 years that South Suburban Land Bank had the contract, how much monies did the village of Dolton receive from the sale of the properties that they sold, and that included commercial also?
Okay. First of all, the properties that we gave the land bank were the properties were in total disrepair. Now, what BP Capital is doing, they're taking all the good houses that need very little repair, and they're selling those. Now, some of these houses that we can give them, they haven't touched them. The ones that have been dilapidated and have been there abandoned for years. And getting back to what the land bank did, they sold the property that used to be the old Dusty where we got $310,000 from. And they put a business there, the Taco Bell.
Mayor, if I could be recognized.
Go ahead, Trustee.
My intent on this was nothing. It was to have another tool that we can add into the process that will not cost us anything. So this is not about money coming back to the village or BP Capital or any other entity. I think it's something at zero cost to us that we can have another tool in our belt.
So you, Trustee, you don't...
Trustee.
Trustee, so you're not interested in us getting any type of revenue from the sale of these properties?
I would love to get revenue from the sale of the properties if that's possible.
So in answer to your question, Trustee Stubbs, we received $310,000 from the sale of the Dusty properties that had tons of taxes due on it. The land bank wiped those taxes off. We sold that portion of the property for $310,000, which was immediate revenue for the village. Mr. Murphy?
They didn't give us any money.
Mr. Murphy?
They didn't give us any monies. They took the taxes off of it. They sold our property. The property had belonged to us.
Mr. Murphy, you know anything about this?
Excuse me. I believe what Trustee House is talking about. No,
I'm talking about the sale of the Dusty's.
Oh, well, Dusty's was a piece of property that the village had that had a lot of back taxes on it, that the land bank was able to work with the village successfully to remove the taxes, and we sold the property and we made the money, and we're getting the sales tax. So it was a success.
Mayor, can I speak?
So now you said that BP Capital took 18 houses and we haven't got one dime from any of the sales. Go ahead, Trustee
We
Pearson.
didn't receive any of the monies from
Go ahead, Trustee
the
Pearson.
property at Dusty's either.
Go ahead, Trustee Pearson.
I just think that what you're doing here is comparing apples to oranges. That was our property, and we wanted to sell it, and it had taxes. This is a totally different situation. When you compare it to what the land bank, South Suburban Land Bank did, that's the same type program, and we did not get any money from there. I don't know why you keep telling the residents that the land bank gave us money. Nobody said anything when the land bank had it. That really bothers me that nobody wanted two companies. Nobody had a problem. Nobody stood up and said the land bank was ripping us off because they're not giving us money. And now we have somebody who's putting up his own money, and he's putting people in these houses.
Why shouldn't we not get any money from any of the abandoned homes.
Why
That's here
didn't
in
you say
Dolton.
that when the land bank was doing it?
We only gave I think 5 or 6 houses to the land bank, and they were in such deplorable condition. They held them for so long, nobody even wanted to buy them. Why don't BP Capital take some of these ones that's been abandoned for 15 years? They're not taking any of those.
Mayor, that was 14 houses.
It wasn't 5.
And other properties that the land bank took the taxes off of. We didn't receive one dime.
That's not true.
We didn't receive one dime, Mayor. The property on Sibley, where the Taco Bell sit, was our property in the first place.
What does that have to do with it?
I'm just stating.
Did we get revenue or not?
You're saying that.
Do we get revenue or not?
We get the money. We're making him give us the money, but the land bank never came in. You never talked about what was going on. And here this man came into town and wanted to do this for us so we could have home ownership in our community, put the houses back on the tax roll. And you've been dogging him ever since he came to town, saying that the program will not work. And I've seen it work right here on 154th and Cottage Grove. The young lady, we went over there. She purchased a house. The house was a complete gut. He used his own monies. He's put his own monies up. He's using his own monies to obtain the attorney that he have. Whether he have Mr. Magoo or Bowinkle for his attorney, it don't make any difference. He's paying the money. So I don't understand what's the problem. All you all sit up here and say, this is not going to work. This is not going to work. You don't want it to work, but through my faith in God, this is going to work, and we're going to put these houses back on the tax roll. We're going to...
Why do you have to add God into it? When you know, and we saw it, I gave you the sauce before we got to this point, and we'll end up with Ed Steve, okay, as he sits in the seat, exactly that seat you're sitting in right now, that Dolton had to pay $45,000 for each of those houses. They had to. And they went to investors. Why you got to bring God into it? What? Stop it. You go into church, you sing hallelujah, then you meet the devil at the door on the way out.
Have home ownership instead of renters, investors, and we're going to make our community great again.
Thank you. Amen.
You heard from those 2 people that came up here last board meeting, didn't you?
Also, I talked to those people after the meeting. I've talked to them since then. The young man, I talked to him on the telephone with the $85,000 in back taxes. Today, I understand he's in the room today, and maybe he could tell his story, the truth. Same thing with Ms. Slaughter. That was untrue. And the truth will be said tonight, and let the truth set us free and put these houses back on the tax roll, because didn't nobody take or try to strong arm anybody for their houses. If a house is across the street from a school, Ms. Slaughter, if you're in the room tonight, and it needed boarded up, and you didn't provide that service for a house to be boarded up. They've been finding young girls in garages, and the garage was burned up, the garage was open, and all they did was provide a service to board up the property. And what was told last week was an untruth. And hopefully tonight, because there's always 3 sides to every story, yours, theirs, and the truth. And let the truth come out about that house that's across the street from that school, because I don't want to see, that's Diekman School, I don't want to see a kid in the garage dead like they've been finding these women and young kids around here.
That's got nothing to do with what we're talking about.
Everything to do with
it. It has nothing to do with what we're talking about.
Across the street from the school.
It has nothing to do with what we're talking about.
She had back taxes, still have back taxes, and he was in his right to seek that property if he wanted to. But that's not even what had happened. Let the truth come out tonight.
Yeah. Well, at any rate, we got a text today from Ms. Slaughter, who was contacted by Trustee Mohammed after the last board meeting, who said he would assist with trying to get her house back. Hi, Elizabeth. Sorry to be just getting back to you, but Trustee Mohammed hasn't been able to get a conference call with me with Don Meadows. I won't be able to make tonight's meeting, but I will be at the next one. So all I'm saying is that Mr. Meadows is sitting right here.
Okay.
I don't know who wrote that text, Mayor.
Came from Ms. Slaughter.
I don't know who wrote it.
Ms. Slaughter, and she was here at the last meeting, and she told you what happened when they took her house. And Mr. Meadows was supposed to get back with her. He never did. Trustee Mohammed approached her last meeting. I saw Trustee Mohammed speaking when he got his number, and she's saying there has not been any correspondence between last meeting and this meeting about getting her house back. So, you know, the other thing, and we can discuss it because I think you got it here on the agenda.
Can I be
Hey, MC. Hey, Shanna. How you doing? Good to see you.
recognized, Mayor?
About investing Dolton. So, at any rate, we're not going to go any further with this. Trustee House put it on.
So you're shutting down discussion, is that correct?
I'm just shutting down discussion on this because what we're doing is talking about the South Suburban Land Bank.
Okay, well,
Trustee House,
that discussion has been shut down on South Suburban Land Bank.
Trustee House had put the South Suburban Land Bank on here for discussion. Now, if anybody wanted to discuss it, fine. If not, we can move on. Any further discussion on Land Bank? Okay.
Needless to say, they voted it down. The four terrible trustees. Yeah, she's a piece of work. Running for Thornton Township trustee. I'm telling you, if you see these three people, Stubbs, Pearson, Muhammad, run. Okay. It's going to be a long night. Oh, God. Where do we leave off? Where do we go from here? Okay. Here we go. Yes. Absolutely.
You said that the village is paying BP Capital $5,000 a house.
I never said that.
That is an untrue statement.
I never said that.
That is what you just said.
You need to clean your ears because I never said that.
Well, I heard that we're paying $5,000 a house. We are not paying BP Capital any money for the houses. The second statement I wanted to make is nobody cared. Nobody said anything when the land bank was here with the same opportunity. Now that there's a black man trying to do this.
Oh, here we go. Come on, here we go.
That's right. These houses, Mayor, point of order, please.
Can you believe he just said that? Is that a racist statement? I don't know. You tell me.
These houses have been in this community vacant, and nobody was doing anything about it. Nobody was saying anything except the people that live next door to them. They were, every time you talk to one of them, they want to know, what are we going to do? The houses were empty for years. Some of these houses have been empty for 10, 15 years. Where was everybody that wants these houses so bad?
Where were you?
And who got elected on trying to do something about it? But all of a sudden, there's a lot of resistance on houses that were empty all along. And we have some blocks that got 3 or 4 empty houses. And residents complain about renters in these houses where the landlords live not in Dolton, they live somewhere else, and they put people in these houses, and the grass ain't cut, and they barbecuing on the front, and the swimming pool's in the front yard, and people complain about that. And so we picked somebody.
What's that got to do with vacant houses?
I'm not finished. We picked somebody to try to put homeowners in these houses rehab them, and put homeowners in them so that they will have a stake in the community.
Trustee.
And because you said it's a bad deal, everybody thinks it's a bad deal. It's not a bad deal, and you keep talking about these people that are willing to give $15,000 and $20,000, but I've never seen one of them.
Yeah, because you haven't heard from them.
I know.
And now I want you to go back and view the tape like you said you viewed before. You viewed before when I said something on the minutes.
I will.
You didn't want to approve it. So I want you to go back and see that I didn't say we gave BP Capital $5,000 for a house. The attorney that they use, this board voted on an attorney to file the liens for $5,000. He did 6. I think he was going to do more before we broadcast it, but $5,000 to file an abandonment lien on 6 houses. It totaled $30,000. $30,000. So you can call the county. Just find out how much it costs. It's about $300, and then you put an ad in the paper, another $75, and we got it on tape. The attorney said here it costs $2,500 to file the lien, and I get $2,500 for doing it. So, can you see where this would have went if he would have went further filing these liens on all these houses, and what it would have cost us? Like tonight with the getting rid of some of these employees that do value services. Tomorrow some of your services are going to suffer. Now, we already, by contract, we need 19, and I'm getting off track here a little bit. We need 19 per unit contract in Public Works. We only have 17, and they want to lay off 2 more on Public Works. So, Trustee Henry.
Oh yeah. And by the way, this board is going to wipe out Rogers' administration. Just totally wipe them out in the budget hearing, but that's for another time. It's ridiculous. And okay, Sloan, I retract my statement. Yeah, this is what real estate wars look like. Oh God. Yep. Nonprofit. Yeah, and John's going to talk about land banks as well. We're going to put in a 4-hour slot for John next week sometime.
That tree trimming going to be a little slower than.
Doesn't affect labor. It's a mischaracterization, Mayor. Does not affect the laborers out of Public Works.
Yes,
You
right.
know that.
Yes. Okay. All right. There's a motion on the floor. It's been motioned and seconded, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah, I just had one statement. He keeps saying, what was the residents then? They're here now. If the residents aren't woke now, y'all woke now, right? Y'all want the properties. So if they saying they want the properties, why can't we advocate for the residents? Why can't we change it? Why do we have to just stay stuck to one group? That's what I'm advocating for. Give them a shot at it. Thank you, Mayor.
Matt, may I be recognized?
Matt.
I say, may I be recognized?
Okay.
Mayor.
I said Matt. Go ahead.
I said Mayor.
Go ahead. We'll review that tape too, but go ahead.
Be my guest. That's just like the house, Trustee Denton, that you and I went to yesterday, and that I showed you.
Well, I don't know why I stopped that. But apparently I didn't go over this very well. Oh, Trina. Trina comes on. That's why I
continue talking about.
I have a question for the village attorney. Can residents sue the village for mismanagement of Dolton?
The way you address that is at the polling place.
Okay. And another thing, I did not get a notice about the library closing. I do pay taxes. I have 2 small children. That's a long time for the library to be closed until next spring for renovations. They're closing, right?
Yeah. I'm not sure when the clerk, Madam Clerk here, got the notice, but the library is governed by its own board, and they get their own funding. So the notification process, I'm not sure how that's handled.
And I also, you know, the Board of Trustees, you voted to have people fired from their jobs. But you sit here and you have fillers for their jobs. Like Pearson, you speak for the police and fire department. We have a police chief, a fire chief, who's perfectly able to speak for themselves. We have someone perfectly able to speak for Public Works, Ms. Stubbs. We need to let people do their jobs. I want to hear the report from them, the people that we're paying in those departments. I want to hear what they're doing. You know, we're not getting the right services for our money. That fire truck is so old and raggedy. I hear it coming down the street. The one with the new tower is old and raggedy. We already have problems with fire hydrants, fire trucks, and fires in the village. You know, everybody's arguing up here. Does anybody have an emergency plan for the village? In case of a weather emergency, in case of civil unrest, what would the village do? Stan Urban is now gone. Who's over the water department so I can see about who's going to, you know, give me some kind of compliance on my bill? We have people doing the job, but people we paid 6 figures to do, and now they're just gone and at home. And for what? I want to sue the village because I'm not getting proper services for my taxes. This is ridiculous. I don't see myself voting for anybody. I haven't seen Ms. Denton or Mr. House at a meeting, at a trustee meeting before they got voted in. Not that you're not doing a good job, but I just haven't seen you. You know, so I need people who are going to step up and help the residents, not hinder the residents. It don't need to be one accord when it comes to billing us and charging us for more things. And no business should be coming into Dolton asking for a tax break. I'm not getting a tax break. They're making more revenue than me. They shouldn't get a tax break because I'm not going to pay it on the back end. And that's all. I don't have any questions. That's just it.
I had to leave Trina in there. See, Trina can be civil. Okay, now what do we got? Let's find out. Dun, 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 dun. What's up next? Okay, here we go. This is going to be January 2019.
Agreement with BP Capital. As you know, BP Capital was given the awarding of all the vacant houses here in the village of Dolton by this board. And one of the biggest things that this board has always harped on is about the revenue. We're in dire needs of revenue. So, I need a microphone. So what I wanted to show tonight was the fact that we've had plenty of opportunities to get revenue here in the village of Dolton. And this board, these 4 members up here, had voted to give, without an RFP, BP Capital the awarding of over 400 vacant houses to get rid of at their disposal. Also saying this is putting them back on the tax rolls. But what I want to say is that I've been approached by at least 2 investors, which one said they would give us at least $20,000 per house. $20,000 per house. So if we just took 100 houses, if you can see this, 100 houses times 20,000 equals, what's it equal? Anybody know? $2 million. $2 million, okay? $200 houses times 20,000 equals $4 million. Okay? 300 houses times 20,000 equals $6 million. Now, we're in $8 million worth of debt for the water department, for water, with the city of Chicago. City of Chicago says if we pay as we've agreed, they will knock out $2 million in penalty. So instead of using these houses to gain revenue, which the majority of these houses that have been taken and want to be sold by BP Capital, and they're suing me to sign the deeds, we gave them away without any revenue. So I'm saying the 400 houses give us $8 million, which we can pay our debt. But this board chose to give them away for free and raise your taxes. Now, when you have something of value, see, if it was your home, would you give it away free? Would any of you give it away free? This is how we can get out of debt with the city of Chicago. But somehow, some way, they chose to give these houses away free, and we don't get a dime. And talk about putting them back on the tax rolls. Well, putting them back on the tax rolls, even if we sold it to investors for $20,000 apiece, they eventually go back on the tax rolls, but we're not going to see any of that revenue for a minimum of 2 to 3 years. So I'm asking this board tonight to cancel that agreement with BP Capital. Probably won't happen. But as you can see, this is a way for us to get out of debt with the city of Chicago.
Oh, I'm not saying Riley's a bad guy here. Trina's talked a lot about Riley Rogers, about his dealings. But you see those three well, they're not trustees anymore. You see those three and anybody associated with them run. Now, BP Stubbs is gonna get up. Yeah. Well, he came in 2013. They had to transfer money from the TIF to do payrolls, right? That's a whole different story. Thank you very much, Sloan. I appreciate it.
The coffee call.
Matt. So I'm asking for a motion tonight to cancel the contract with BP Capital. And if we have to, put it out for RFP. But certainly we have something here of value that can help us get out of debt.
I'll make the motion.
Is there a second?
We're going to be able to discuss it if you don't second it.
You can say, I'll second it.
Did you hear Muhammad? Yeah. You get so lost with this, Magnolia, don't you? It's just maddening. The way they have run this village for decades, it is absolutely maddening. But Muhammad whispers in Stubbs' ear, if you don't second it, we can't have discussion. So here we go.
What's the motion, though?
I just said the motion was
I
to
know
cancel.
he didn't say. He just said he motioned it. So he motioned.
It's a motion to cancel the agreement with BP Capital.
Okay, second.
Okay, it's been motioned and seconded to cancel agreement with BP Capital. Discussion.
Yes, Mayor. May I be recognized?
Go ahead.
May I borrow your marker? You have one down here.
Here you go. You can take this one.
You got a microphone too.
Here we go.
No, get a mic. It won't be recorded unless you got a mic.
Thank you so much.
I mean, Muhammad, he ran for mayor and lost, so he's butthurt. But you see how he directs everybody? You know, little weasel. Sorry.
Okay, residents, let's do this. In the event, and you can look it up with the BGA, Better Government Association, and also this is information that you can also pull up, you can forward it. If the mayor owed $340,000 in taxes and he paid zero, that means the village of Dolton get absolutely nothing, and we could have used some of that money because we get a percentage. Not only do the village get a percentage, the park district get a percentage, the library get a percentage, and the school district get a percentage of this $340,000 that the mayor owed in back taxes, and the taxes have been served. So now we get zero. So, also, water bills. If you pay your water bill, I'm paying my water bill, the rest of the residents are paying their water bill, and the mayor is paying zero. Nothing from nothing leaves what? Nothing.
You gotta have something.
So therefore, you know, it's hard for me to sit up here and listen to a leader that don't pay his taxes, that go out and buy property, those same houses, put people in it, charge them rent, collect the rent, and don't pay taxes. So it's hard for me to actually even entertain the thought of what he's talking about, because he's doing us, and then he's blaming it on the trustees. He need to look in the mirror. You paying your taxes, I'm paying mine. And it's not fair to us. So be careful on who you listen to. Thank you, residents. I love you. Pass the word.
And there ain't nothing you can do about it. I love you, and there ain't nothing you can do about it. Yes, a major deflection. Talking about the mayor's taxes when he's talking about millions of dollars coming in. Yeah. And I love you, and there's nothing you can do about it.
$140,000, we could have kept Mr. Steve on. With the water bills, we could have kept employees on.
Yeah, they fired Ed Steve. Oh, by the way, this board fired Ed Steve. Yes, they did.
We could have did a whole lot of things. So therefore, pass the word. And he needs to be a leader and start leading and pay his bills. Thank you.
Mayor, can I be recognized, please?
No, I'm going to respond to that.
Mine are paid, all of them.
Right.
Taxes, water bill.
Right.
God say don't owe no man nothing but to love them.
Right.
And my bills are paid. You can check mine.
Okay.
Anytime.
Right.
And my credit.
Right. The you put down houses or property that I have sold that other people are obligated for. You put down water bills that I have tenants who are responsible for, and I've indicated that to the water department. Just as some other members here have investment property and they have tenants that are responsible for that waters. So when it all comes out, I'm going to take my legal resources against those perpetrators. All I'm going to say is that you're looking at right there a way for us to gain $8 million to pay off the city of Chicago and not have taxes raised. And this board has never addressed that, and they've given away Two of our biggest assets were also two of our biggest liabilities. That's the Melanie Center and the Dorchester. Years ago, when I advocated to sell the Dorchester, some members on this board refused to sell it for a higher value than what we've sold it for. We just closed on the Dorchester in the past 2 weeks, and we had an offer of $7 million at that time, with a $100,000 down payment at the board meeting, and now we just sold the Dorchester for $2.6 million. We lost money on that deal.
Who are those members, Mayor?
Can I be recognized, Mayor?
No, I'm talking. No.
Who are those members?
The other issue, I said some members on this board.
I'm asking, who are those members? Because the only one that was in a member at the time was me, and I voted to sell the Dorchester every time it came up.
Okay.
I don't know if anybody else was voted to not do that. That don't sound right. I've never heard that figure.
And now you want to give the Melanie Fitness Center away for $350,000 and have us finance it when we got a appraisal on it for $800,000.
Man, stop telling the people.
It's not good business. It's not good business.
Damn. They wanted to sell why didn't they sell the Melanie Fitness Center? I mean, they still own it. And they're still trying to sell it? Oh, God.
So there's been many ways for this board to gain revenue and this village to gain revenue, and it hasn't been done.
It's not true.
Can I be recognized, Mayor?
Okay, there's a motion on the floor.
No, they're in discussion, sir.
We're in discussion, Mayor.
We can't put a motion on the floor, Mayor, and then you become a dictator and you shut down discussion. You go up and you do your dog and pony show, and the trustees should have input on discussion. You can't just shut the discussion down.
Okay, go ahead. Go ahead, say what you want to say.
Okay, I have some questions for you, sir.
Why aren't we getting any money from BP Capital?
I have some questions for you. You said that you had two investors that would...
Why are we not getting any money from you?
Mr. Mayor, you said there were two investors, and this is public information, that would give us $20,000 per house. Who are those investors?
Cancel the contract and you'll see them.
Okay, so you all heard the answer.
Cancel the contract, and you'll see them.
Okay, I have more questions for you based on your presentation. As you can see, there is no answer to the investor. The second one you stated, Honorable Mayor, you said that the city of Chicago will reduce our payments. They will reduce it after approximately 7 years. That means that we will be paying that. I didn't say I wrote it down. If I got it wrong, somebody else can correct me. But you said that there will be a reduction in our payment. That reduction in our payment will be out after 7 years of consistent payment. The reason why I know, because myself, Trustee Pearson, and Attorney Murphy, and Ms. Redmond was there with the...
Newsflash for Dolton residents. You're still paying that back Chicago water bill, and it will not be paid off in full until the year 2028. That is a fact. So I don't know what they're talking about.
Judge with the city of Chicago. You were not present at that.
I never said there would be a reduction in payment. I said there would be a reduction in a penalty. That's what I said. And if you know, and Attorney Murphy can attest to that, wasn't there a part of the agreement, the reduction of a $2 million? It wouldn't take us 7 years if we got revenue from the houses.
It wouldn't take that long.
Okay, Mayor, I'm still on discussion. Mayor, you also...
I'm sorry, Attorney.
I'm still in discussion, sir.
I never said a reduction of payment.
Okay, well, it's recorded. Thank God for that.
Yeah.
You mentioned that, and you said this before, there was a $7 million offer for the Dorchester. Can you tell us in the public record who offered $7 million to the Dorchester? Because you continue to beat that drum beat of the $7 million. Who was the party that offered $7 million to the Dorchester?
I don't have it right now.
You don't have that right now. Okay, now lastly.
We have it on record. We would have to.
Lastly. Yeah, I know you got it on record. Yeah, along with.
It was 8.3 million. It wasn't 7.
Okay, there you go.
Lastly,
it was 8.3 million.
Administrator, Fred Balanoff had two offers. One was 8.3 and another was 8.2 million.
Again, we have no public record of that offer. So, and this is not citizens' address yet,
Point
sir.
of order. So you don't control that, trustee.
So, Mayor, you should control.
I don't know who's talking in the background confirming they had an offer for $8.3 million for the Dorchester. And what they saw it for, $2.6 million? I don't know who the guy is in the background.
It, Mayor.
Right,
You
right.
should control it.
He
But if
corrected
it's
me.
in your
It
favor,
wasn't
you
7
won't.
million,
But
it
I'm
was
going to
8
get my
million.
point now. If you can continue to interrupt me, sir.
Right.
I'm trying to be as respectful to you as possible. You
Right.
just mentioned the Melanie Fitness Center being sold for, I believe, what is it, $350,000. It
Point
costs.
of order, please.
You, the village of Dolton, and again, this is why the audit is so important. We're losing more than that per year holding on to the Melanie Fitness Center. Now, if you talk about $250,000 a year that we're losing on the Melanie Fitness Center, just do the math. And this won't be any fuzzy math like I heard about on that board. All you got to do is multiply $250,000 per year. Even though we're selling it at a discounted amount, and I agree it's discounted, but the individual that wants to purchase it will do the upgrades, will improve it, will not make any changes in the employment staff. So for you to say that we're giving away the Melanie Fitness Center, you'd rather hold on to it where we have a deficit added to our deficit of over $250,000 every year to subsidize the Melanie Fitness Center. So you can ask for your vote on the against the cancellation. But when we introduce BP Capital, we also introduce what is called for the housing. No, the housing for the records of the foreclosures, the banks. Pro-champs. We introduced pro-champs. You said, and there were some residents who got some misinformation saying we're losing money on pro-champs. Pro-champs is something that was instituted that we were able to do it without the encumbrance from you. But since we instituted pro-champs, the software program, we've accumulated 649 properties that have been registered to the village of Dolton. The banks pay a registration fee of $200 each, equating to, you're talking about bringing in revenue to the village, $129,800, and that's over a 7-month period with pro-champs.
What does that have to do with the Melanie Fitness Center?
Well, you brought the Melanie Fitness Center. I'm telling you, in relationship to the cancellation of BP Capital, if you let me finish, I'll tell you. With BP Capital, when it was instituted with this particular program that you had some resistance to as well, BP Capital has not cost us 1 penny. But you have violated the ordinance and the agreement that this board voted unanimously for BP Capital. You're taking this young man to court. If we were to agree to cancel this agreement, which is also canceling the ordinance that came along with it, then he in turn sues us. But you using the
I'm sorry to interrupt, but did he say the board voted unanimously for BP Capital? That means that Jason House and Tiffany Henyard also voted for BP. So the whole board voted for BP Capital. I didn't catch that at first. I'm sorry.
The resources of the village to sue someone who was duly voted for by this board that you're using, the attorney that the village is paying for. So it is costing us something with BP Capital, with court costs, because you're taking the young man to court because you refused to sign the agreement. The judge ruled in their favor on one of them, from what I understand. But Mayor, you know yourself that this BP Capital has not cost us 1 penny. All the money was to come out of the BP Capital's fund.
First of all, I'm not suing them. Y'all are suing me. I'm not suing them. Secondly, why shouldn't we get money from these abandoned houses?
Who is the $20,000 per house investors, Mayor?
Not only that, cancel the contract. Cancel the contract, and you'll see. Not only that. The one house that they went to court to force me to sign the deed was to the law partner son, who get the demolition liens on these properties for BP Capital. The son of the law partner of Anthony Bass is the one that they took me to court on to sign that deed. Now, if that's not a conflict of interest, what is?
Well, you say the judge forced you because the judge ruled in their favor.
If that's not a conflict, what is? And every other village that has abandoned properties and they get demolition liens or abandonment liens on those properties, the village get money for.
Who, Mayor?
The village should get money for.
Just say who, Mayor, because you.
I'm going to have a list for you.
A lot of
I'm
stuff.
going to have a list for you. You're saying that they don't?
You never back
You're saying
up
that they
what you're
don't?
saying.
Are you
No,
saying?
I'm not saying that they don't.
Okay.
I'm asking you who.
I'll get your list.
Like we
I'll
said,
get your list.
These 20 investors.
I'll get your list.
And that little chart you drew up there, why don't you show how many people paid $20,000 per home since 2013 when you came in office? You wait till we came up with a program to try to put these houses back on the tax roll.
That's not a program.
And we talked to these residents who had trees growing up in the living room of houses next door to them, and who can't calls us and say, I got raccoons, the roof is falling in, something fell off the house and hit my house.
Okay.
And we came up with a program.
And yet, this is the same complaints Dolton is having today. In 2025, this is to 2019, and they still have the same damn problems. I for the life of me cannot understand this village. It just makes me want to scream. It actually, yes, it does make me want to scream. Groundhog time. Thank you very much. I hope everybody feels the same way.
Now you got $20,000.
Okay.
Where was that $20,000 since you been in office? 2013. You didn't come up with a program. You waited till we came up with a program, and you fought it tooth and nail.
If you think this is a program by having BP Capital to come in and get the houses that's been recently foreclosed on that need minimum amount of work and take those and sell those properties and not address the real problem of abandoned properties that we've had here for 10 and 15 years where there are raccoons in them, they haven't touched one of them. Haven't touched one of them.
Mayor, they have
You're the mayor
touched
since
one property
2013.
because you haven't signed the deeds over.
They have not touched one of them.
Because you have not signed the deeds to
Because
the
you
over
know
40
what?
properties that they have had the titles cleared.
I asked for simple explanation. I want to know who they sold them to, how much they sold them for. I want to know the difference of what they sold them for than what they would put on the property and the amount of profit that was made to those investors, who they sold them for. And matter of fact, they've sold some hot properties already to investors that they didn't even have the deed to it for. How are you going to sell a house and you don't have a deed to it? But those investors have already paid their money. And now you say that I'm suing them. I'm not suing them. Y'all are suing me.
Well, January 17th is your court date, and know that this will be deposed. You will be deposed because this is being recorded, Mayor, for all that you are stating for the over 40 properties that you are sitting on that you will not sign the deed for, that we can put persons in those homes. How could anyone be against a program that's putting people in homes in Dolton when the number one complaint of residents is abandoned homes in Dolton? Why don't you sit on this and not sign these deeds over to BP Capital?
Why don't they address the real abandoned homes that's been abandoned for 10 to 15 years?
100 Lincoln that's boarded up, that you filed a claim on, a water claim on it, that's one of your houses that's boarded up, that you use the village money to have it boarded up.
That's not true. I'm going to find out. I'm going to find out who ordered that, because I didn't order it.
That's all right. But that's what you doing. You out here buying up the houses. Let's talk about the houses that you done bought up.
What's wrong with investing in my community?
There's nothing wrong with it, but we're not getting any tax money from the houses from your program.
Okay.
So it sounds to me that your program is broke.
Yeah.
You buying up these houses. They in foreclosure. We're not getting any taxes from them. We're not getting any water bill money from it. So it sounds like your program is broke.
And here's another lie. There's none of my houses in foreclosure. I have the deeds on every piece of property that I purchased in Dolton.
Excuse me. You're absolutely right, because you have a time span to buy your taxes back. But in the meantime, the residents are not receiving any tax money from you. So do you understand that?
I have not lost one property due to taxes.
Listen,
I have not lost one property. And I made a significant investment here in the village of Dolton from the time that I came here.
Any money from your houses on taxes? Yeah, that's right. Can you tell the residents why they have to pay taxes and you don't pay taxes?
Well,
can you tell them? Can you answer that question?
He wouldn't be pursuing it. The only reason he's pursuing it because y'all put in a resolution.
No, Mayor, he's pursuing
No. They contacted us.
That's fine.
They contacted us. Okay. I just want to know how come you won't pay your taxes.
I'll welcome the investigation.
So go turn yourself in then.
I'll welcome the investigation.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, how come, just answer the question.
All right.
How come you won't pay your taxes?
Point of order, there's a motion on the floor.
Yes, let's vote on it.
Mayor, I had a statement. I was trying to wait. Okay. Residents, sorry for keeping you here this long, but as you can see, the program that I did initiate benefits you, the people. I want to give the homes to you first. I'm not for the investor. The mayor just stood up there and said he has people that's lined up that can purchase the homes for $20,000 a pop. No, that is not what we want as a community, and you guys know that. So I would like you guys to make sure you speak on that and tell this board what you want. You see what we want up here, and we all going back and forth, but the people wants the properties. So I am advocating, which I've always have, that the property goes to the people first, and of course we make the money first, the village. That's why I said the program was $5,000 for owner occupied, of course. So you guys have the funds to benefit from that. And then investors, don't get me wrong, I'm not cutting anybody out. We can coexist. The investor will fix the properties that need the most work. So we would split a 75-25 split. So it's basically saying everybody's opinion up here. But what I'm saying to you is I don't want them to forget about you guys. You guys first, then investors second. So we can stop all the bickering and stop saying we're going to get all this money. Just let's put this program in place and move forward, people. So I just want that for the record, Mary Kay. People first, residents first, investors second. Thank you.
At least under your program, we're talking about receiving some revenue. At least on your program. Now, you initially voted for BP Capital. Your mind has changed since that point. But at least under your program, we're still getting some revenue. On the BP's program, we don't get anything.
But at least we had a program, Mayor. What was your program?
That's not a program.
Your program came just to say no.
How's a program when we don't receive anything for it?
Mayor, we're not receiving anything from your properties.
Let's take the vote. Go ahead. Let's take the vote.
On the motion to cancel the agreement with BP Capital. Motion by Trustee Muhammad, second by Trustee Pearson.
No.
Henyard, sorry. Thank you. Yes, that's right. Trustee Muhammad.
No.
Trustee Stubbs.
No.
Trustee Pearson.
No.
Trustee Henyard.
Aye.
Bill.
Oh, and the saga continues. Okay, we're getting close to the end. This village. Here we go. God.
I want to dispel some misinformation that has been out there. Last year, we had installed a program called ProChamps. ProChamps allowed us to collect monies and to register many of the properties that have never been registered in the village of Dolton. I'll give you an update on ProChamps. Since May 1st of 2018 of last year, we have accumulated.
I'm sorry to interrupt. Oh, French, you got it before I could say it. It's Freeman's fault. He forged your signature. God. Did Tiffany learn from these people? Did she learn from the mayor and the trustees here, or was she always like she is? But yeah, French, you got it before I did. It's Freeman's fault. Freeman forged her signature. Okay, let's go.
$129,800 from registration of over 600 properties that we either abandoned in foreclosure. We know who the banks are, the lawyers that deal with those properties. That's over 600 properties that cost the village absolutely nothing. That's the money that we make free and clear from ProChamps. I preface that with the Village of Dolton's Invest in Dolton program, where the judge ruled in our favor. Now we have about, and then Trustee Stubbs can correct me, we have right now about 14 homes that have now been released. We took the political arm away from this. It would no longer be the mayor that can sign off on these deeds. According to the judge, it can be the clerk or the director of housing can sign the exemption applications. Also, the judge stated, village officials...
In other words, they passed an ordinance to skirt around having the mayor have to sign off the properties. Yeah, Wyoming, my favorite gal. Have you been hiding in the bushes? If she sat with them, she learned from them, in my opinion. She may have looked on them with disdain, though. Yeah. Oh, Lord. We're getting there. Almost. I swear.
Also shall not hinder nor delay the issuance of otherwise valid requests for occupancy permits for any of the properties, nor shall the village officials refuse or fail to turn on or allow water to be turned on for any of the properties acquired under this village agreement. Now, the order is pretty long, but I'll just give certain highlights because many people are confused of the BP Capital and the Invest in Dolton program, but we will have the housing fair, and we'll announce that at our next board meeting on, I think it's March 4th.
It's a separate. It's not Invest in Dolton.
Now, what I'm reading into record, excuse me, I believe the clerk has it, the mayor has it, and our attorney Murphy has this also, according to this report. I'm sorry, this order that came down from the judge. Actually, it was Judge Thomas Condon, and I was there at that particular hearing, and the judge was quoted as saying, these are his exact words, "This program is a great way to provide housing, stabilize, and grow communities." And just to give you some redevelopment portions of this agreement between us and our developer. The village has undertaken efforts to promote economic development, home ownership with its borders, and address the issues of distressed, unsafe, dangerous, and hazardous properties which are vacant and abandoned pursuant to Village of Dolton Ordinances number 9-485, 10-499, 17-008, and 17-013 that are subjects of foreclosure proceedings, tax delinquencies, water or municipal liens, liability within its corporate limits. The village, in its efforts to address the aforementioned, has determined it's in the best interest of its residents to obtain a developer who is experienced, competent, and financially able to renovate and restore the unsafe, dangerous, and hazardous properties in their as-is condition under the terms and conditions set forth in this agreement. The developer is seeking to assist the village in its efforts to eradicate unsafe, dangerous, hazardous, vacant, and abandoned property pursuant to certain Illinois statutes. I won't read all of those. Then renovating and restoring properties, thereby stabilizing the community, and return properties to the tax rolls for the benefit of the village and its residents. It is the intent and goal of the village and developer to jointly cooperate in executing this redevelopment agreement to eradicate the hazardous, unsafe, dangerous, vacant, and abandoned properties within the village's corporate boundaries. Now, this has been in court for the last 19 months. 19 months that this was introduced. There's been a denial of water service and willful failure to record the court-issued judicial deeds, which, as I told you, the judge gave a victory to the residents that they now have to do it. We can finally begin putting people into these once vacant and abandoned homes. Over 30 properties in the pipeline return to the tax rolls. We're now going to be increasing the tax revenues for the village and schools by $200,000 annually. And 6 properties have been set aside as for the raffle for village residents. And again, Judge Thomas was in agreement with this. It was in our favor. When I say our favor, I'm not talking about just the trustees that had to take our honorable mayor to court. And by the way, that case did not cost the village from these trustees 1 single cent. But if the mayor would have just followed the ordinance, we could have had these people in these homes last year. So again, this is in the record, and hopefully the clerk, if you do not have a copy, I can give you a copy, and hopefully it'll be published through our transparency ordinance so that everyone can know what went down on February 5th, 2019 at Circuit Court 2084 under Judge Michael T. Mullen. And that's my update on the Invest in Dolton program, Mayor. Thank you.
If I may.
First, go ahead. Good, trust.
For point of clarification, trustee, no, I do not have a copy of any order signed by Judge Condon at the 6th Municipal District Courthouse. The copy of the order I have is from Judge Tilley, I believe you said, that was entered in February. That was a agreed order between the Village of Dolton and the plaintiffs, meaning the trustees. So if you have a copy of anything signed by Judge Condon, I would like it for the record, but the order I received was not entered by Judge Condon. It was entered by Judge Tully, I think you said, and I think that is correct, at the 1st Municipal District when the Village of Dolton settled this lawsuit with the trustees of the Village of Dolton. So yes, please send me anything
Yes,
you have
ma'am.
from Judge Condon.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. As some of you know, and some of you may not know, first of all, this order was not about Invest in Dolton. The order was an agreed order. It wasn't a win. The trustees, 4 of these trustees here, sued me to sign off on those properties that were given to BP Capital. My issue about signing off on those deeds was the fact we were not receiving any money from any of these properties that BP Capital was given. And I wanted to know who they were selling them to, how much profit they made, who did the work, and they didn't want to give me that. So what I did was I did a little research. When Trustee Mohammed talked about the Invest in Dolton program, those were the 6 houses. But this order that was agreed upon, because it would have cost the village more if I kept fighting it, but I still refused to sign those deeds because I think we should know who those houses are going to, how much money that they sold those houses for, and because we didn't get 1 dime for those houses. So here's what happened. I get sued by Gary Grasso. And if some of you know the chain of events here, Anthony Bass, who is a member of Grasso and Bass law firm, charged the village $5,000 per house to do the demolition or abandonment lien to get these 6 properties. Of course, I made a stink about that because it's only about $300 some odd fees, and then it's only like a $75 publication. Why are you charging us $5,000 to file liens against this house when, in fact, our village attorney could have did it, and he does it in other cases in other villages? So in doing my research, I get sued by, I'm not sure if it's Gary Grasso or Michael Grasso. Gary Grasso is the partner of Anthony Bass, and Michael Grasso is his son. So I get sued for not signing a deed that their law partner filed demolition and abandonment on the property, and guess who the property was given to or sold to? It was given to or sold to a company by the name of Reliant Homes LLC. So in further research, I find out that The managers of that LLC is Michael Grasso and Gary Grasso, and this has been verified through the Secretary of State. So now you come in and you file these liens against the village, and mind you, these liens vacates everything. Water bills on these properties, liens on the properties, whether it's for cutting grass or maintenance, and you actually get this house free, but it costs us money to get it to you. So I just think there's an ethical problem here, and there's something funny going on when you sue me because I didn't sign your deed off on your deed, and you go to court and you do it as almost as an emergency order, okay? And it goes to your law partners and to his son. Then I find out later that house was sold for $145,000. The village didn't get one dime. So that's another reason I didn't want to sign off on these deeds. And I want to find out how much actually that the village is not receiving on these houses that was given away for nothing. Now, okay, fine. We're going to be back on the tax rolls. When do we really realize anything on the tax roll? In 2 years or longer? And what do we realize? Maybe 5,000 this house or 6,000 this house? It's a hell of a lot less than 145,000, I can tell you that much. So, I want to know those questions. And the building permits. You know, I want to pull the building permits. See who actually worked on the house, the extent of the work, how much they actually put in that house before they flipped it for $145,000. You know, the water liens all wiped out, grass cutting liens all wiped out. I mean, this is ludicrous for us to give control to one company over 400 houses and we don't get a dime. You know, this needs to be investigated. Y'all want to investigate me? This needs to be investigated. And so now, John Murphy agreed. I told him I wasn't signing off on it. You know, if they want to put somebody else to sign off on it, that's fine. But they're not going to throw this up in my face and say, yeah, the mayor signed off on them. So he entered into agreed order to stop the attorney fees for them suing me for not signing off on those properties. But that's what we're dealing with here. And it's a shame that we have things of value that we can bring in revenue, especially when we owe people our garbage, owe the city of Chicago money. We have things that we can bring in revenue, but it's given away. Now, would you give away your house free? And I don't think any reasonable person would if it had some value. But that's exactly what's been done here. So, I'm going to move on to the next thing.
No, Mayor. Let me remind you of what Attorney Murphy told us at our last meeting when you cut off the dialogue, that every elected official has the First Amendment right to speak. When you were shutting down the dialogue last time, and he won. Well, I'm not through speaking,
you
sir.
You spoke of this as being invested in Dolton, and it's not invested in Dolton.
Again,
it's
Mayor,
not, those deeds were not invested in Dolton.
You know, one of the biggest complaints that residents have is the fighting that goes on in this board. I try to be as respectful to you as possible, sir.
I agree with you.
If you would please let me speak, Mayor, without interrupting you. I don't interrupt you.
Tell the truth.
Can I speak and respond to the misinformation that you just stated concerning this program?
Misinformation. Go ahead, trustee.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Please, let's get out here at a reasonable hour.
And then, Mayor, I have some.
Okay,
input.
Mayor, there's a thing called judicial sale. Anyone here knows, and I think Ms. Henyard can attest to this, when there's a judicial sale, the water bill is waived. There are quite a few things that are waived in a judicial sale, which is some of these properties. It is not 400 houses. We're talking approximately 14 homes. Not one home has been sold yet because it's been in court since last May or June. You're selling, who's selling the houses to? They have not been sold. And we're talking about about 14 properties. The $5,000 that was paid to Attorney Bass will be returned to the village upon the raffle of the 6 homes that we have, because the persons have to have $5,000 in order to secure the home, and that goes back to the village of Dolton. So, Mayor, you talked about a home that was sold. I have no information on that. I cannot respond to that.
You didn't do the research.
Mayor, I have not interrupted you. I'm trying to be respectful. Mayor, you keep talking about the disagreement on this board. We have to be respectful if we can have a disagreement. I love to have a disagreement, but I will not be disagreeable with you. I would like to finish my point, and I hope that you recognize other trustees that want to speak, because we have a First Amendment to speak at this Board of Trustees meeting. So the misinformation that you said, no files against the property and no money back on the tax rolls, I would prefer to have a home that's been rehabbed. And these homes have been rehabbed by persons registered with the Village of Dolton who are certified, bonded, and insured by the Village of Dolton. And we got that list from our licensing department. So all of those persons are registered with the Village of Dolton. So that's all I have to say, and I thank you so much, Mayor.
Madam Clerk, Madam Clerk, why don't you tell the residents here how many of these you've signed off on, and kind of confer the first sale, how much it was?
Pursuant to the agreed order that was entered and not issued by Judge Condon. Judge Condon was the judge who granted the petitions by BP Capital on behalf of the Village of Dolton to transfer the properties to the village. The lawsuit filed by the trustees against the mayor for failure to respond was filed at the Daily Center, and a different judge entered the order by agreement, hopefully resolving the matter. But pursuant to that order, I have the dubious pleasure of signing off on the deeds, and as of this week, I have signed off on 3 conveyances to buyers. Because we are conveying them for $0, I do not yet know how much those properties will be resold for. But for the one that the mayor referenced to Reliant Homes, Michael Grasso as contractor and principal of Reliant Homes, and I think actually, Mayor, that was $147,000 from what I saw.
Okay.
The other 2, I don't know what they're going to be resold to private parties for until they come back and process that paperwork.
3 properties.
The
3, not 400.
The order.
So far.
The order, it's not 400.
The order that was entered in by Judge Michael Mullen, October 18, 2000.
Not totally.
Pardon me?
Not totally. One of my people. Mullen is also one of my people. Sorry about that.
Yes. This cause comes before the court on an emergency basis. What I'm thinking is that he had the house sold. The deed wasn't signed off on. He wanted that deed right away so he can get the money. Emergency petition. I can hardly read this, for Reliant Homes LLC. Now, this order was drawn up, from what I understand, by Attorney Grasso. He drew this order up and had the judge sign it on an emergency basis. Hereby ordered the petition to. It's hard to read. This is the petition. What is that?
Petition of intervener.
Right. The petition of intervener, Reliant Homes LLC, is granted. The emergency petition for writ of mandamus is granted, and the writ is, it's basically saying it's hereby the mayor of Dolton or the housing director is basically telling me to sign off on this thing. 15516 Ellis is the property in question. And that's the property that was sold for $147,000, where the village didn't get one dime for that. Now, some of these other villages that have abandoned properties, they sell them and they get money for them. Why shouldn't we be doing anything different? I had one investor told me, said, Mayor, if I was doing what they're doing, getting the cream of the crop, I'll give you $20,000 a house. So 100 homes, that's $2 million. It's $2 million. These properties, especially the recently foreclosed ones, don't need a lot of money to rehab them. And that's money that we could use in our coffers to pay our bills and our debtors. So anyway.
Mayor, may I be recognized?
Go ahead, Trustee.
Mayor, I've been waiting.
Yes, that's right. Go ahead, Trustee Henner.
All right, thank you. I just want to bring some clarity because it seems like everything is everywhere up here. BP Capital. I just want you, Trustee Muhammad, to explain BP Capital and Invest in Dolton, because that's two separate programs. That's not the same program. So everybody understand or are aware of that. You guys were in court for, I thought, BP Capital, but you're saying you was in court for Invest in Dolton. Is that correct, Trustee Muhammad?
Yeah, the homes were combined, but what I think it would be more favorable as part of the housing committee that we discussed that in the housing committee and discussed that.
Whoa, why don't you discuss it here? So it was for BP Capital. Yeah, we love Shay. I'm sorry your sleep cycle's off. Yeah, I know. Oh, Cynthia, this is why Invest in Dolton and BP Capital are so commingled and intertwined. They're using the same lawyers, the same 4 trustees battling it out with the mayor, costing the village just thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars. And there's still a couple hundred abandoned homes in Dolton today. But he just got caught there. Muhammad did. Oh, jeez.
But if you read the order, and the mayor did not read the latest order, which he should have, because according to this order that I received that's dated February 5th, Attorney Murphy is his name is one of them, along with 2 other law firms. So, Mayor, by you not having and the clerk not having the updated agreed judgment order, and Trustee Henry, to answer your question, to answer your question, as I stated.
Allow me to correct that. No, Trustee, I do have the updated order of February.
February 5th?
Yes, the final order. Pursuant to that order, I have, since that date, signed off on 3 properties as submitted by BP Capital, and pursuant to that order, as BP Capital submits the deeds, I am to sign off on those as well as they submit them.
Yeah, I have no debate with that. I'm trying to answer Trustee Henry's question, and we would have to go through the order, and like I said, so that we don't take too much more
Trustee,
time.
I just want to be simple.
Let me finish, Trustee, please. As I was stating, Trustee Henry.
Order, please.
As I was stating, Trustee Henry, we have the order, and I don't know if this has been handed out to everybody, but what I'll do is I'll make copies, and we can discuss that in the housing committee.
Okay, you didn't answer the question. So here it is, you guys. BP Capital. They got a contract exclusive. We was arguing over the word exclusive. Everybody know what that word means. So I'm not going to give a definition like Trustee Muhammad does. That means that they strictly have the contract for the Village of Dolton to receive all our inventory, which was 428 properties to be exact. We gave that to them. Okay. After that, this board created another program called Invest in Dolton. That attorney that represented BP Capital, which was Attorney Bass, went after 6 of our vacant property, which he got off of that list, if y'all all following me. So after that, we paid him, meaning the Village of Dolton, we paid Attorney Bass $5,000 per house. So now we are in debt of $30,000. Everybody follow me with the math? Okay. So now they're stating they're going to do a raffle. That's what I heard. So correct me if I'm wrong. They said they're going to do a raffle for you residents to get these houses that we already paid for, and it's sat there, let Trustee Muhammad say it, for 19 months. So that means we spent $30,000 over 2 years, almost 2 years. And you guys haven't benefited from the property. First of all, why would they pay for something that we could have just gave strictly to the resident? We could have cut the middleman out. We didn't have to pay an attorney $5,000. We could have gave it to you, resident, let you pay $5,000 and moved on with our life, right? But they didn't do that. So my questions to Trustee Muhammad is, and I can recite them all, how many houses did they get? What 6 properties are in this raffle? Did we pay for the 6 properties, which I just answered? And how do a resident get a property that you said was going to be in this raffle?
Okay.
Thank you. I
But
appreciate that. I appreciate that
before you
question.
answer that, Trustee Muhammad,
Yes.
I just want to interject something. It would have been more than 6 houses, but because I said something about it and the cost and everything, they shied away from doing any more. But there was I think it was 22.
It was 30 they were trying to get.
I think it was 22.
I can answer her question. May I have the information in front of me?
When I get done.
Okay.
Madam Clerk, what was the initial listed?
I'm so sorry, but the lawyer's eating. They've been here so long. The lawyer's eating.
They gave you, was it 22 or 30 houses that was on it?
The very first list was, there are actually 2 lists. One were 6 houses for Invest in Dolton, which is a separate program, as Trustee Henyard said, for which the village paid $5,000 each to Attorney Bass in attorney's fees to acquire.
Right.
BP Capital was a separate agreement approved by the majority of this board.
That's correct.
With BP Capital, the attorney for BP Capital is the same attorney Bass.
For both programs, yes, that's correct.
Now,
And initially,
and the plot thickens.
there were 19 actions filed with Judge Condon and other judges at the Markham Courthouse.
Thank you.
Others have followed.
Yes, and there was liens filed on houses where those owners were still in control of the property, and myself and Madam Clerk appeared in Markham Court and told Attorney Bass, you better take another look at this. And originally he refused to drop the lien on those houses, and we were staying for the hearing because we wanted to go in front of the judge. And then he came out, and those homeowners were at court that day. He came out and said, okay, Mayor, we'll take these 2 off. Because we was definitely ready to confront the judge and say, hey, these are legitimate owners here. Sure, they're a little bit delinquent, but these houses aren't vacant, you know. But in going back, you know, Trustee Henyard was part of the board members that voted for BP Capital, but since then she's seen the light on what is really going on here, and how we just giving away our inventory. And I think at that board meeting, they said we were giving them control of over 400 houses.
428.
What was it? 428 houses. So they had the luxury of picking and choosing the cream of the crop, which ones they wanted to rehab, which would cost less, where we can flip them quicker. And, you know, Trustee Muhammad mentioned earlier, none of those houses have been sold. Well, I talked to one of the investors. He said, hey, I paid X amount of dollars for this house already. I just don't have a deed. So these were, I think, these houses were selected to have little rehab, and they marketed to those investors and said, we're going to get this done. We're going to get this done. And I just don't think it's right to give away inventory. I just don't think it's right for us to know how much profit that we have thrown out the door. Originally, I can say this. I think at 155, whatever it was, Ellis, you know, it was a house in reasonable condition. I don't think they spent a lot of money on it, and I think they probably profited over $100,000 on that house. And part of the other issue was they bought in and said, hey, we got these people that's going to do the mortgages and everything and get these people in the house. So it's supposed to be a smooth transition of us giving the houses, they hooking up with the mortgage companies, a few selected people will get some inventory and make a lot of money, and we sit back here like a fool trying to pay our bills where we had an opportunity to bring in some revenue to help pay our bills. So I think it's just part of a big scheme, and we the fools.
Mayor might be recognized if
Trustee
you're
Muhammad
finished.
wanted to talk.
I'll yield my time to Trustee Stubbs.
Where's Trustee Stubbs?
I just want to say you've heard a whole lot of stuff. This is like a commercial. You don't know what to believe
We got
and
the
who to
facts.
believe. And I have the facts too. I believe in black and white. Presently, there are a total of 17 houses that they're working on. We have the Invest in Dolton program where we could have been sold the houses I have the applications, but the guys have to redo the applications. I've been calling people that have filled out the applications for the 6 houses because we thought it would be a good thing to raffle off houses to the residents, and they only pay $40,000 up to $40,000 for a total rehab gut. Now, since then, these people have actually qualified, and they are residents of the village of Dolton. One young man lived with his mother and father, and he qualified. That application was taken to him yesterday so he can redo an application. And they talk about they picked the cream of the crop. Bull crap. On 149th in Michigan, want everybody to ride down there, is this house right here. And you can't see it, but you're more than welcome when the board meeting is over to come up and see this house. It's deplorable. This is the house that lived between the 2 senior citizens that's rodent infested, that's deplorable, that's on the list to be rehabbed. So they don't have to live like that. Okay? And anytime somebody had a question about BP Capital and invest in Dolton, because the attorney Bass can charge whatever he wanted to charge, just like this attorney up here. She charged whatever she wanted to charge for her services, and that's her fee. So.
But our job as trustees is to protect y'all.
Excuse me, because I'm speaking because yesterday a young lady came to see me about one of the $5,000 houses that she wanted from your program, and she had her credit wasn't up to par, and so therefore, you know, I got a problem with that too about giving out false hope.
We know you want to cook your
but
friend.
we can all.
About it. We can do that.
I'm not going to argue with you, trustee.
You just did.
You're not going to get that out of me. But anyway, we can all sit down together because it's enough houses to go around. Okay, I don't have a problem with doing. Excuse me. I don't have a problem with somebody else doing it, the program, as long as it's done properly. You know, you don't know how much it's going to cost to rehab a house until you go up into the house and to see what it needs.
Trustee Stubbs.
Yes.
How do you pre-qualify people and the lottery hasn't happened yet?
You pre-qualify them the same way you do it when you can pick up the phone. If you get ready to purchase a house and you want to pre-qualify with a bank or any type of financial lender, and they will pre-qualify you over the phone. If you have ever purchased a house that way, Mayor, then that's the way that you do it, and they will give you a pre-qualifying letter to show that you are pre-qualified once they run your credit, if you have good, decent credit, Mayor.
So you're going to only...
Excuse me, you want me to answer the question?
I thought you answered already.
So that's how you pre-qualify.
Okay.
A financial institution will pre-qualify you if your credit is up to par.
So what you're saying is that only these pre-qualified applicants are the ones that's going to be in the lottery?
Anybody can fill out an application. You have to pre-qualify for a certain amount so you can get the house rehabbed. So we don't want to give you a house that's uninhabitable. You have to have it, I believe it's like $35,000, $40,000. It depends on what you want in the house that you qualify for.
So I'm saying, this is what I'm saying, you have to pre-qualify first before you can get into the lottery?
That's correct.
Yes.
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 That's correct.
Why would you not? Like the young lady yesterday, you know, or like other people that say, well, I have the $5,000 for the $5,000 program, but they don't have any rehab money.
Okay.
So that's therefore, with this program, with only the 6 houses, you have to pre-qualify.
Mayor, can I be recognized?
Come on, we beat this enough. Let's go on. Let's move on. The next thing on the agenda is new business, hiring of 3 crossing guards. Go ahead, Trustee Pearson.
You miss H, Mayor.
H. I thought you said that...
Okay, I want to go on record, Mayor, that you're not recognizing a duly elected official, that you're shutting down our First Amendment right to speak on an item that a trustee has put on the agenda.
Fine, you're on record.
That you take,
okay, Trustee Henry, next thing on the agenda is approval of block-by-block program.
As a trustee, I want to go on the record and make sure that's in the minutes.
It's on the record.
I would like to make a motion to approve block-by-block program.
Second.
Okay, it's been motioned and seconded to approve the block-by-block program. Any discussion?
Yes, I would like to refer this to the attorney because this was tabled to committee, and the committee meeting is next week.
Mayor, she just said in her statement that she okay with both programs existing. Now all of a sudden she wants to table it. Come on.
It was already
small tactics.
It was already tabled.
They don't want to get a house to the people, but they gave it to their friends.
Hang on, trustees.
Don't say
Madam Clerk just advised me that it was tabled to the committee. That table still stands, and it has to go in front of the committee, which is next week.
Okay, well then I'll say this for the record. Residents, pay attention to how this board vote up here. I'm so grateful that it is an election on February 26th.
Yeah.
You make sure you vote how they voted for your program.
Yeah. Okay. That was a public safety announcement. But at any rate, we're past that. Next thing on the agenda.
All of this fighting. Good. So, is anybody confused with Invest in Dolton and BP Capital? Anybody? But let's go back to how these four trustees absolutely screwed the village as they were leaving office, because they all got voted out except Denton. Denton was voted back in, but Muhammad, Stubbs, Pearson were kicked to the curb. So let's find out how they, in case you missed it in the beginning, find out how they screwed this village royally.
All right, the next thing on the agenda is approving First Amendment to redevelopment agreement for BP Capital. Trustee Stubbs.
Everyone. I would like to make a motion to approve resolution 19R-007, approving First Amendment to redevelopment agreement, BP Capital Corporation.
Second.
Okay, it's been motion and seconded to approve the First Amendment to the redevelopment agreement, BP Capital. Any discussion?
If I can have the attorney to come up.
Good evening, Mayor, Board of Trustees, Madam Clerk, Village. I'm here to just give a brief overview on the resolution. Again, it's a resolution approving the First Amendment to the redevelopment agreement with BP Capital Corporation and the Village.
I'm sorry, Nick, can you give them your first and last name for the record?
Sorry about that. Nick Petrovsky, Petrovski. Again, this is the First Amendment to the redevelopment agreement with BP Capital Corporation. Initially, the village and developer previously entered into a redevelopment agreement dated July 26, 2017. The village desires that the developer continue its efforts to eradicate hazardous, unsafe, dangerous, vacant, and abandoned properties within the village, and the developer desires to complete its efforts to do the same. Therefore, the redevelopment agreement is hereby amended to add a new paragraph number 17 to the redevelopment agreement, which shall be read as follows. As of the date of this First Amendment to the redevelopment agreement, the developer wishes to acquire, renovate, and rehabilitate properties that have been acquired by the Village of Dolton under its Invest in Dolton program. As part of its renovation and rehabilitation work, the developer has expended and will continue to expend funds based on the original redevelopment agreement and assurances made by the village. The developer agrees to pay the village $30,000 in total.
No, 30.
Change it.
It changed twice.
Yeah, you're right. All right.
Sorry about that, $30,000 in total for the 6 Invest in Dolton property it intends to acquire, renovate, and rehabilitate upon the village's delivery of a deed to the developer for those properties that the village has title to at the time of execution of this agreement, and developer will pay the village $30,000 within 30 days of execution of this agreement. Developer shall also pay any outstanding water charges owed on each property prior to water service being reestablished to the property. The developer also further agrees to complete its acquisition, renovation, and rehabilitation work on the Invest in Dolton properties, provided said work is completed within 2 years of execution of the First Amendment. The redevelopment agreement and this First Amendment shall remain in full force and effect until all such acquisition, renovation, and rehabilitation work is completed and a certificate of occupancy is issued by the village for each property. Should the village not allow the developer to acquire or complete work on the properties, the developer shall receive a termination fee of $45,000 per property as liquidated damages, not as a penalty.
Can you explain that last part to the audience?
Sure. If there was any issues with the development of the property, there would be a liquidated damages fee for the developer. The developer will be allowed, it's 2 years to build, renovate, and rehabilitate the properties. If there was some issue between the village and the developer, there would be a liquidated damages clause in the amount of $45,000 to the developer per property.
How many properties is that?
It is 6 properties. This would ensure.
So they absolutely screwed the village. And let me prove it to you. Make sure I get the right one up. Ugh. Absolutely screwed the village. I'm sorry, I'm having a Danish. This is just too much sometimes. Let me get it up. There we go. 2 more videos. We'll be out of here.
Well, I'd like to suspend the rules to address this issue then.
Thank you for reminding me. That's fine too.
I'm sorry.
Second.
This is the wrong video.
Case for motion.
I apologize. So many videos, so intertwined. Good grief. Where'd you go? Where'd you go? Where'd you go? Here we go. There we go.
Is old business item A, resolution number 19R-008, terminating a redevelopment agreement subject to fulfillment of Invest in Dolton requirement, BP Capital. Can I get a motion on this resolution?
I'd like to make a motion that we pass resolution number 19R-008.
Yes, second.
Second.
It's been motioned and seconded to for the termination of redevelopment agreement subject to fulfillment Invest in Dolton requirement for BP Capital, resolution number 19R-008. Any discussion?
Yes, may I speak, Mayor?
Go ahead.
I just have a question. In terminating this agreement, that will involve us having to pay, I believe it was $45,000 per house. Is that my understanding? If we terminate this agreement with the company, then we're responsible to pay $45,000 for each house that he's not able to complete.
That $45,000 was in regards to the Invest in Dolton, not into the redevelopment agreement for BP Capital. So what this is saying that we will go forward and fulfill
At this time, we'll go forward and fulfill the Invest in Dalton, which is the 6 houses that would apply to that penalty, but not subjected to the original agreement of all the other houses.
Thank you.
Okay,
And me recognize, Mayor.
go ahead.
This is the BP Capital was the highly unpopular thing that the last board passed, and we got this from Attorney Murphy that as of Friday, they got 14 more homes. So I think it's a total of maybe 38, close to 40 something homes, and all these people transferred to a company called BLC Home Construction LLC, located in Northbrook, Illinois. So I just want to put that on the residents now to remember that this company that we're cutting the contract with now, majority of them homes went to outside owners, didn't go to homeowners or residents of Dolton, and went to investors. So just remember that. So that's why we're cutting it for sure.
And we're researching who that LLC company is. We know that the first house that was put on the market, that was put on the market and sold for, what was it, 142,000?
147.
157,000. 47,000 was sold by the law partner of Anthony Bass' son. His law partner, Anthony Bass's law partner, Grasso. That house was sold by his son. We feel there's a conflict of interest, certainly, but that's going to be looked into. It actually is being looked into right now. Any further discussion on this?
Yeah.
Go ahead.
I just want to make sure I understand what this is going to do. This is to give back all the properties, or is it the ones they are currently going after?
The ones that's currently going out.
Okay, for instance, they got 20 or so properties that they got that we gave them the deed to?
About 38, from what I understand now.
Okay, and then you just said that they got 14 more as of Friday?
That's including.
It's included in 38?
Yes.
Okay, so are we trying to reverse that, or what exactly?
Well, at
will
this
we
point,
be
I
doing?
don't think we can reverse it. The liens have been entered into court. It was granted by the court. The deeds have been issued, and the Madam Clerk, signed off on Friday.
Okay, so we just canceling the agreement. We're not basically taking back the 38 houses, right?
Right.
All right, got it.
Yeah. Okay. Any further discussion? Roll call.
Trustee Denton.
Yes.
Trustee Steve.
Aye.
Trustee House.
Trustee House? Hello?
Lost him.
You want to dial them back?
He's on the.
It was on mute. I'm sorry.
Aye.
Trustee Brown.
Aye.
Trustee Holmes.
Aye.
Trustee Ender.
Aye.
6 ayes. Motion passed. Next.
So at the beginning of this live, you can go back and see what that lawyer had to say. Invest in Dalton actually did go to BP Capital. And these two programs, Muhammad, Stubbs, Denton, and Pearson, it's absolutely unbelievable. And the fighting and the arguing for like 2 years over this. And there's still abandoned houses in Dolton, well over 200. It's incredible. So they're intertwined, and all I have to do is say this.
Blackie. Thanks, Mr. Dorsey.
Welcome.
Good evening.
Oh,
come as residents tonight. I'm gonna talk to a lady I used to call Mama. Trustee Stubbs, look at me when I'm talking to you, please. Don't act like you don't ignore me, because I have a lot to tell about you. And you know, we used to sit in your room, in your house, and you know I came against you because I said, why are you in the bed with Muhammad? Why are you in the bed with Pearson? Mama, what's the outcome? What did you tell me? What did you tell me? I asked you about BP Capital. Why would you take an organization out? Because you said they were ran by who? forgive my language, racist slurs against the ethnical group that they need to get out of here because they're doing nothing. And I told you they do more for me than any of you. But yet, I want to know, BP Capital, Den, trustee, I love you. I came to you from my heart, sweetie, when we got out here for you and pushed my tail off of y'all and prayed that y'all would do the right thing. And you sit up here. You the angel of this book. I didn't hold nothing against you, but you sit up here. And you know that woman dirty. I used to listen to her talk about Joyce Myers, the Bible, all that. Trustee Den, I just want the truth here tonight. I'm coming as a resident and I'm coming as a homeowner. I have nothing else to say but the truth. I always talk help, but I'm sick of it. Because we pouring our souls out here. We giving our all. And y'all sitting up here playing with us like it's nothing. You letting that woman tell you, say it's okay. Don't you do this. Don't you do that. And you sit in the back zone. That woman don't run nobody. She stepped out her body and she's not acting right. I just want to know one thing. If you're giving BP Capital 600 houses and we in $1 million deficit, right? Let's just say we charge what? Let's just say we charge $2,000 per house. Ain't that a good investment for anybody? $2,000, $4,000. That gives us $1.5 million that we just say we'll give it away, or we'll pay trustees, or we'll pay their lawyers. You know what, y'all? It's a shame, but ain't nothing we can do. That's why you can sit up there, Muhammad, so cool, so relaxed, bro. It ain't nothing we can do. We messed up. We trusted you. I messed up, but I won't do it again. But I can tell you what, y'all all live in Dolton, right? I have 20 people outside of your house every day protesting until you leave this land.
Oh, is that the end of it? Oh, that is the end of the presentation. The end. Oh, my goodness. How long was that? 4 hours? I'll do timestamps, I promise. But it's really, I don't talk very much on this live stream. So, my brother just called, and he's going to bring us a calzone. Yes. Just when I said I'm hungry, my brother called and said, do you want a calzone? Yes. My goodness. I hope it's pepperoni. I forgot to tell him pepperoni. Anyways, I did find a, another grifter, and, we're going to be covering that, tonight on, Patreon. Another one. Oh my gosh. I gotta find that face plant. Most definitely. GB, good to see you. I know it's gonna be fun. My goodness. So, anyways, let me get something to eat, some more coffee. Probably, 7, 8 o'clock Eastern, something like that. If you guys have time. Yay! Another grifter. Oh my gosh. This is something else. So, okay, guys, do I have a, oh, I'll just do bear. I'll do bear. Where's my baby bear? It does look like bear. How insensitive. Yes. Yes. And then she tries to play it as, that wasn't a racial, statement. So, I'm going monkey around. Okay, here's Bear, and we'll get the flock out of here.
Matt is live in Hernando, Mississippi, where there's been spottings of a cougar, and that's not it. That looks like a house cat, but we're just feet away from where a local man rolled his cell phone video on what some say is a cougar. I'll be right back with a live report.
Hey there, human. Any chance you've got a snack for me? I promise I'll be good.
I love that. Okay, so we will see you over there. Bye.